now recording.
So, for this particular episode, we are in Plainsworth, and we've got a new set of missions which I will now make visible to you in Roll20. So, the first one being the Tantari Banner.
Do you want me to do a quick read through of the missions again?
Yeah, for sure. And then I'll just set them all up. Hopefully you can
So I've got
read the text.
Anyway. Yeah. Okay, so as Commander Yuli Zakharov is talking with his Marshal Draco Barbosa and Quartermaster Zaya Ivanova, we have three potential missions. There is the Tantari Banner. Nearby is a storied place from the Legion's history. The Tantari Banner, the original symbol of the Legion's authority, was lost when the Empire fell. It was granted to the Marshal of the Legion by the first Emperor. After the breaking 3 years ago, one of the Broken set up a dig site to look for it. Undead have been spotted returning there. The mission is to finish the dig while fending off any challengers. This is a special supply mission. It's got glory and knowledge favour. It's obviously good for the chosen Zora.
It will give XP to Zora.
Yeah. The reward for successfully completing this mission is we get +2 morale, and obviously we get the actual relic, the Tantari Banner. There's no penalty for failing it other than we don't get the XP and the Tantari Banner.
Yeah.
The second mission is the Screaming Citadel. The Blighter is prepared to destroy Plainsworth. Intelligence indicates that a probing attack at the old Empire wall at the city's south border is being prepared. It will be a hard-fought battle. The Elders of Plainsworth have called for those able to sign up to defend the city. They are also making moves to requisition assets inside the city for a defence effort. We could stand with the people of Plainsworth on the old Tantari wall and push back against the Blighter's assault. This is a supply mission, mercenary work. The reward for successfully completing it is +3 supply. If we fail, we lose 1 morale and 1 supply. And finally, there is the Flying Hawk. The Aldamani workshop deities called the twins, Matiar the Smith and Gerdholtz the Hunter. Matiar cherishes self-sufficiency, ruggedness and wisdom. A group of smiths, carpenters and other trade folk led by a smith called Marana have begun honouring the twins by visiting the villages around Plainsworth and donating their crafts, skills and advice to whoever needs them in the coming days. They are without coin, but could help us in turn if we send guards to accompany them on their mission of charity. This is a religious defence mission. The reward for completing it is we get labourers, which are obviously a quartermaster's asset. The penalty for failing it is +1 pressure. So, my faithful Marshal and Quartermaster, what do we think?
I'll unmute myself first. Barbosa kind of sitting there with one leg sort of up on the table edge, smoking his pipe.
Drinking some rum.
Yeah, kind of like smoke going through his blue tinged hair. Well, the question is, Commander, I think, what's the one we can't afford to fail? What is the one we can't afford not to do? And the rest shall come.
Well, realistically, since we're planning on moving on from Plainsworth in the immediate future, we can't afford. We're going to need supplies, and obviously we rely on the morale of the Legion to see us through these tough times. So I would say we cannot afford to fail the mission at the Screaming Citadel.
Yeah, because you will actually lose supply as well if you fail that.
Indeed.
In addition to not gaining any.
However, that's going to be extremely hard fought. We've triumphed in the missions that we've undertaken so far precisely because we haven't stuck around. When we've seen an objective, whether it was destroying the forge or sundry other objectives, we've gone in, we've fought what undead we need to get the mission done, we've completed the mission, then we've got the hell out, trying to obviously taking down some of the foul undead on the way, but not staying for a prolonged combat. We've been adopting hit and run tactics thus far. This, make no mistakes, this is a siege. If we are in for this, We are in for it all the way.
So I respect your decision, Commander. If that is your will, I will provide you with what men we have. But
Well, I've not
agree.
yet reached a final decision. That is why I'm confronting the two of you, my most trusted ministers.
I
Although,
think
unfortunately, I can see the quartermaster's hiding behind a cat's arse at the minute.
I think maybe in the short term it may not be as apparent, but I think in the long term retrieving that banner will be a real rallying point to the men and women.
Indeed, and I entirely agree. And I would love nothing more than to see the Tantari banner flying over the Legion as we strike out towards the keep.
Out of curiosity, Sky God is Blade
Blade
Master.
Master?
Blade Master, apologies. Blade Master is the chosen with us at this meeting? Or
If you want, she could be.
kind of feel like she would be there because of the banner's involvement. I feel I don't know. Obviously, that is entirely your decision. If she has a history with the Legion, you know, over a prolonged period of time, but I feel like she may have input herself for this.
She doesn't really have that unless we start formulating it. But at the moment, no. And she is sort of swept in at kind of the last minute to save the Legion when everything was falling apart at the front. So
Yeah.
this is kind of this is a new relationship in that regard.
Yeah.
That Zora, although ancient, as most of the Zemiati living god chosen are, because they don't expire as other chosen do, they last on for maybe centuries. They're not burned out by the divine power essence within them. So Zora is very old. However, she, like most of the sort of eternal chosen of the living god of the Zemiati, they kind of seclude themselves away, and then they like ride out of the blue to save the day when there's danger, and that's what Zora did for the Legion.
That's because we have proper chosen in Zemyati.
Yeah.
Not like these Johnny come lately fly by night chosen they have in
I
other
do like the
provinces.
idea though that if we retrieve the banner, that on the banner itself will be a reference to this chosen, like kind of like
Yeah. It wouldn't be overt because the
No,
old
no, no.
empire wouldn't necessarily straight up glorify a Zemiati chosen, but there could be, as you will find in a lot of real war stuff as well, people put in references on the sly
yeah,
to
hitting in the
things.
ass, yeah.
Yeah, so there could be, I don't know, like a star motif, because Zora is kind of a morning star figure. So yeah, there could be, if you find such a thing exists, you might find that it does have a star motif on it.
My issue is, Marshal Barbosa, is much as, like yourself, I long to see the Tantari banner flying over the heads of our proud legionnaires, we cannot afford to live without the banner.
I do entirely agree. I believe that the labourers and the supplies available at the Citadel would be of a lot more use to us than the banner in the long term.
Indeed, and much as it galls me to say so, my own personal feelings have to take a back seat to my responsibility towards the Legion as a whole. For if it were just a matter of myself and a few close allies, there would be no force of the Cinder Kings that could stop me riding into to retrieve the Tantari banner. However, being placed in this position that we are, we have to place the health of the Legion, and reaching Skydagger Keep has to be our priority.
Agreed. But as I've said before, Commander, that the men are mostly green. Injuries that are piling up. Some of them are breaking a little under the pressure. But so a protracted siege may be more than they can. Maybe. I'm just saying.
Indeed, but can we afford the effect to morale and the loss of supply should we choose not to stand with Plainsworth? And that's the unenviable decision before us.
We must depart here soon, so...
Indeed.
I would sooner put our efforts into saving lives, be it at Flying Hawk or the Screaming Citadel, than worrying about a piece of cloth. Important and valuable as that piece of cloth is, it has nothing on one human life at the moment.
Understood.
But that's just me. You're the commander, John. You decide.
Yeah.
It's
Who dies? Who
it's
lives?
pronounced Yuli Zakharov.
Yuli.
Much as it breaks my heart to hear a fellow Zemyati so casually disregarding the heritage of the Legion. In this case, I agree. We can live without the banner. I know, Marshall. I know. We can live without the banner, and I think our personal feelings will have to take a back seat towards the for the good of the Legion.
It's your wish. So be it.
Therefore, we will attempt to weather the siege at Plainsworth, and also we will attempt to join the group of smiths led by Marana and protect them in return for what crafts and skills they might be able to lend the Legion. Their talents will no doubt be invaluable for our future
Who
journeys.
knows, maybe there'll be a seamstress there who can make you a new banner.
The story should be told. If you can live long enough to tell it.
Indeed. My thoughts exactly. If we retrieve the banner for the fleeting glory it will bestow upon us, and in doing so lose our chance to reach Skydagger Keep, then will anyone remain to tell the stories of how the banner was retrieved? No, we must focus on the Screaming Citadel and the mission of the Flying Hawk.
You have spoken.
I have spoken.
So,
It is the way.
which one is the primary and which one is
That's
secondary?
Okay. And obviously this is open for discussion. I've not made a directed decision, but I would suggest that first of all, Marshall, you have a look at your resources and see which of those two missions you're most likely to succeed upon
Okay.
when we roll for it,
Okay.
and we let that colour our final decision.
I'll
So-
try and get you some good news, Commander.
So right off the
Thank
bat, let's make note of who needs to go. So or who would be very beneficial to send. So the Screaming Citadel is a supply mission, which means that it would require a heavy, an officer, or a scout in order to not gain penalties on the roll. And the Flying Hawk is a religious mission because you're going on basically a pilgrimage. These people are acting out of their convictions, and you're there to guard them while they do it. So it's a religious mission, and that means you need to send a medic or an officer to avoid the penalty.
Ooh dear.
So those are the two, and then
Okay.
let's see. I'm looking at the engagement roll to determine if there's something we can do to bolster that.
Specialist. Let's just have a look. See what I've got in the tank. Oop, okay.
Of course, we do
Okay.
have the Kingfisher Knight.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Kingfisher's coming out. Don't you
Yeah,
worry.
a fresh heavy is what you have.
He's coming out wherever I need to put him into the field.
So
Um,
for a religious mission, yeah, we need the officer or the medic, and then
Yeah.
if the quartermaster wants to spend religious supplies, which we do have, there's a +1 die that can be gained from that. And if anyone has any corruption, no, if anyone has blight, which is the sort of permanent state advanced corruption, then you would get penalties, but no one does. So
Not yet.
basically the option there is on a religious mission, if the quartermaster wants to spend your 1 religious supplies, which is very useful for a
Is-
heavy.
You give me 3 uses of religious supplies.
So you have
Yeah.
1 box of that, with 3
Yeah.
uses. And so just to highlight what that means, one of the effects is if you go on a religious mission and you use religious supplies on that mission, you will get a bonus die to the engagement roll to determine the starting thing. in addition, everyone gets reliquaries. Now, what reliquaries are things that the characters carry around, which basically mitigate 3 corruption. And corruption is when the essence of the undead or curses or some unholy stuff comes your way. You can basically haul up your relic and be like, ah, begone foulness, and the relic will absorb the corruption and be broken, and you will be safe. So that is, for example, something that you can use it to a religious mission to get the benefits. However, that's also really useful if you're going to fight the undead, because fighting the undead results in corruption.
It
So I
kind
just
of
wanted
does.
to highlight that it's not just about the religious missions that
So I've got 3 dots of it.
Yeah.
Or does it cost me the box?
no,
Many dots are.
it's one of
It's
the
the 3
one of the boxes. Sorry, one of the dots. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. If you want to spend that on that,
do-
we
Well,
can
do we-
in which case, can I spend 1 on each mission in each
Yeah.
way, as you suggested?
Yeah, if you
Lovely.
want to
So we're
spend.
down to 1 religious supplies.
Okay, well, we've not made any definite decision yet. Is there anything else we could use
Yes.
to
So
improve the Screaming Citadel?
well, for the I was talking about Flying Hawk
Of
just
course.
then. So for Flying Hawk, what we can do, the only thing we can do as far as spending stuff from the quartermaster sheet is the religious supplies. We can't affect it any other way. We'll get back to what the marshal can do, but then for the Screaming Citadel, which is the siege mission, you need a heavy, an officer, or a scout. And then if the quartermaster spends supplies, so the thing at the top of your sheet, if you spend one of those, you'll get +1 on the engagement roll. And if the current pressure is higher than 2, you get -1, which that would be on the commander sheet. So commander is the pressure higher than 2.
I think it's at 1, isn't it?
We only have 1 supply.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, if you spend your last supply on this supply mission, which might get you 3 more, you'll get +1 die
Yeah,
to roll.
that does seem sensible then, yeah.
I need to
Yep.
check with Blade Master about something.
Okay, at the moment, and obviously this isn't final, at the moment I'm thinking with the Quartermaster's permission, we spend that 1 supply, we roll for the Screaming Citadel, we then spend some of the religious supplies, and we play out the Flying Hawk.
Flying Hawk, the pilgrimage.
Just to
Okay.
check, is there any reason that I can't spend religious supplies on both these missions?
For the no,
I know it's 2 different uses.
Yeah, you can spend it on both. However, it will, if you don't actually play by play the Screaming Citadel, you will gain no appreciable benefit from the
Right,
reliquaries.
okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
My question, Blade Master, is
Yep.
this. I think it's the Zimyatis, though, or it might be the Alrights, where they can ignore level 1 harm.
Zemiati, yeah.
Yeah, is that only for the actual playing effect? It doesn't. So, for the engagement roll, if they have a level 1 injury, do they still get the -1 die for the engagement?
Yeah. They're not hampered by it personally, but they are still
Okay,
hurt.
that's a problem. That's
Yeah.
a big problem. Because everyone's got injuries, so we're gonna lose an engagement dice.
Well, that would be if we went on an assault mission, which we aren't. So the assault mission is the one that cares about whether or not your people are wounded.
Whoo!
Yeah.
Whew.
We're not doing assaults today.
Okay, that's much better.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the commander is proposing we play out Flying Hawk, and then we roll for a Screaming Citadel. And
Indeed, I'm going to let my officers discuss it because I need to go and use the little commander's room. So I'll be back momentarily.
He has spoken. I am okay with this plan. Thankfully that we're not doing assault. I think I can meet the requirements without too much trouble. But we are running out of fit and able men and women to do these missions. They're all highly stressed, highly injured now.
Yeah.
So we need some. I need to hopefully sweet talk the quartermaster in a bit of R&R, maybe some bandages and some like alcohol rations because they are beat up.
Yeah. Okay, so if we are just rolling for the Screaming Citadel, that is a supply mission. So that would require the expenditure of our one remaining supply from the quartermaster,
Mhm.
and we can't influence it any other way other than the marshal sending in a heavy officer or a scout. Any one of those will do.
I'll be doing one of those things.
Yeah, okay. So if you send one of those, and the quartermaster spends our last remaining supplies, we
I get sweet
can.
dice.
Let's see. We start with 1 because everyone's oath sworn to the Legion. Then we get we're 2 dice if we do both these things. We send the appropriate people and we spend some supply. 2 dice for Screaming Citadel. And then for Flying Hawk, we need an officer or a medic to avoid -1.
Medic.
And if we spend a religious supply, we can take +1. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the quartermaster's spending stuff, if this is how we want to do this, we would spend 1 supply and 1 religious supplies total. So you will be left with 2 uses of your religious supplies. Yep, good. Okay, so I think it's all set, and we're gonna roll in on the Flying Hawk. We will leave the dig site, at least for now. Who knows what happens in the future? But we will leave the dig site of the Tantari banner, and we are going to send in. Who are we sending?
Okay.
Marshall,
Are we doing primary mission or secondary mission?
Yeah,
we doing first?
yeah. Let me know both. Like, who are we sending on these missions?
Okay, so primary, which is Flying Hawk.
Yeah.
I'll be bringing out the Kingfisher. He's fresh. He's old. He's fresh and he's unmolested.
Didn't we need an officer or a medic on that mission? The Kingfisher
Yeah.
Heavy.
I've not stopped yet.
My apologies, Marshal Barbosa. Pray continue.
We will also be sending in Theonin Islanovich, who is injured. However, this is not an assault mission.
Yep.
This should be relatively low threat. We'll see. And I think I probably will send in a rookie as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're sending in a squad, so if you're not sending more specialists, then it's going to be rookies.
Might I suggest, Marshal, that we send in the same rookie we sent on the last mission? I did hear some of the men saying that apparently he was almost ready to become a full soldier.
Yeah.
Ember Wolves.
Yeah.
The shock troops. Real intense pilgrim guards.
Yeah, do we really want to send the rabid, like, crazed fighters
What do you mean?
on a mission to go and make friends with some blacksmiths?
When you say rabid troops, I presume you mean the pride of Zemyati.
Oh, indeed, but I'm wondering if this is really where their skills lie.
Well, the mission is to protect the train. I believe that their combat prowess has been demonstrated.
The commander of the mission is very clear on that and very much in control of them.
Yes, well, the command. Oh God, put the rookie in charge.
No, yeah. Who's going to lead Flying Hawk? Is
I'm
the next
probably going to put the medic in charge because it's a
Okay.
religious mission. The medic probably will be better to negotiate with the people that we're working with, a good intermediary as well as directing of the troops.
Okay, so we're sending Theonin, we're sending in the Kingfisher Knight, and we're sending in which squad?
I am. Do I have to pick the squad that rookie was from?
You pick a squad is what you do. You pick a squad, and all of those people go. And the rookie that John is referring to is from the Ember Wolves.
Ember Wolves,
which are the like shock troops of the Legion?
Yeah, I will. I will send the shock. This is more of a kind of covering my bases thing. If something does kick off, then we have. If an assault happens,
Mhm.
we have the right squad there. We're not expecting trouble. This is not like a. We're not. It's not infiltration. We're not needing to be overly quiet.
No, it's you're accompanying these pilgrims as they go about their business. Okay, so the Ember Wolves, Theonin, and the Kingfisher Knights go on the mission Flying Hawk. Now, who goes on the secondary mission Screaming Citadel? Who goes on top of the Tantari wall to face off against the Blighter? Which we will leave them to their fates, because that's how we roll.
I'm going to send. This is a defend, isn't it? So I'm going to send Grey Standing Cliff.
Mm-hmm.
We need someone who can actually look after the troops. Do I send my scout? I have to send.
If you're sending Grey Standing Cliff, you're fulfilling the requirement.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Do I send any of the others? Do I dare send any of the others? Oh God, Indigo, don't die on me. If I send you, this is dangerous because I can't afford to lose any of these dudes.
Of course, it's dangerous, Marshall. This is war.
Against the dead.
I need shit. Is a soldier's not counted as a specialist yet? Is it? It's just
No. Specialists are these other people.
I'm gonna send in. The officer.
Okay, so
Rubus Martello
yeah,
to lead this defense.
What about Zora?
Zora is not going on either of these missions. Zora is guarding your camp as per usual.
Fair enough.
There will be, if you get far enough, there will be things that just outright Zora is going to be like, both you and me, we're going to do this thing. However, this isn't one of those situations. Yes.
Cool.
I'm going to send in the Grinning Ravens with them.
Okay.
As they are the backbone, they're the most numerous.
Yeah, they're the sort of into the breach and hold kind of people. Okay, good. Yeah, we know all that we need to, except for the engagement roll. So, Marshall, please.
I have to assign who's playing who, though, don't I? First.
Yeah. Who's playing who? So Theonin and what's his face, the Kingfisher Knight, and then one extra from the squad.
I'm actually gonna have. Ooh, interesting. I'm gonna have Hannah play Theonin this time. She's gonna be in charge of this one, the religious mission.
That's the doctor, right?
Yeah, the medic.
The medic.
I'm gonna have John play the Kingfisher. That's gonna be interesting.
John put in the if you see on the chat, he really enjoys the rookie as well.
I'm fine with any. I'm not fussed, to be honest.
If you want to play the rookie, I'm happy to let you have the rookie, man.
I'm happy to play whatever role you assign me, Marshall.
Okay.
Yeah, both are Zemiati, so.
Yeah, you take the Kingfisher. I'll take the rookie if I can find his sheet.
Yeah, it's in the squad.
Oh, it'll be in the squad, won't it?
Yeah, Ember Wolves, the first one.
It's the only one with an icon, like a picture next to it.
Yeah. Okay. Do we do loadout before the engagement roll as well, or?
They don't interact. Well, they do, but not in this instance because we're not going on a recon mission. So.
Okay, so engagement roll is going to be.
Yeah, let's go with engagement and then deal with the whole loadout situation.
So 2 dice, was it?
So is everyone loyal to the Legion? I guess for now, yeah. We're not spending intel because we don't have any. Yeah, none of these others apply. So we start with 1. You send in the medic, which negates the penalty, and we spent religious supplies, so +1 die. So 2 dice.
2 dice.
Yep.
Okay. Ooh. That's not great.
All right, let me see. Oh yeah, that is not good. That is in fact the opposite of good. That is a 3 and a 2, both of which are abysmal as far as results go. So we start out in a desperate position when we start flying Hawk. So off to a great start on
At
this.
least we're racking up that XP
Yeah,
if we
yeah, yeah.
survive.
Mm-hmm.
Survive.
Okay, good. So let's talk about loadout. So get your sheet and look at the bottom. So you can determine light, I guess standard and heavy, was it? The options. And determine what you have with you. There's probably a choice for everyone to make somewhere along the way. Like you choose this or the other one.
Yeah. Okay. So I think like since we're doing an escort mission essentially, isn't it?
Yeah. Of religious nature.
So probably gonna go normal load. We're not actually trying to hide, are we? We're just trying to escort.
Yeah, this isn't subterfuge at all. It's just doing charity and you're there for protection. And I will have you know, because this is a part of the mission that you know about this, it's going to be at least 3 days of travel because they're going around the countryside. So you're gonna want food to go.
Okay, I'll sort that out. I'll take food as one of my extra things.
Yeah. So for utility load, you have 2 boxes you can check.
Yeah. I've taken a normal load, cooking pot, fresh food, and I've taken supplies as my secondary.
Let's see.
Because I'm a rookie, I won't need Blackshot.
Yeah, you're the mule. You're carrying the stuff.
Good.
I'm just looking up what supplies means there.
I'm expecting big things from the Kingfisher.
So for
Apparently
your
he has
information,
big Zimzati balls.
so Matthew,
Yes.
your supplies are dry food packed for travel, not really appetizing unless cooked. One use feeds a legionnaire for a day. Yeah, hope a rookie packed a cooking kit.
Yeah,
So you get 5 uses of that. So fill in your dots there.
Yeah.
And then we have fresh food.
We're trying to feed the laborers and stuff as well if they need it. Well, they look after
No,
them.
they've got their own stuff. This is for you.
What do laborers actually do for us if we get them?
The laborers are a really nice asset, in my opinion. Like I enjoy the idea of them.
Hopefully they can build us some carts, among other things.
They are basically, because it's more people, it's a support infrastructure for your operations.
Supply lines.
So they can generate just by default as well. I was just looking them up. They generate ticks on progress clocks because they're working to do stuff. Laborers.
Do they stick around for a while if we get them?
Yeah, they're permanent. They're camp followers basically.
Just to let you know, guys, the Kingfisher Knight will be taking a heavy load, which means I have a fine hand weapon, a flare gun, a fine heavy weapon, fitted heavy plate armour, a fine wrecking kit, a fine tower shield, and I've also taken 3 dots of relinquery.
Yeah.
So for that, John, I do believe that heavy weapon is a 2-handed thing.
Yep.
And that would obviously not go with the tower shield. Because the tower shield is a...
Oh, sorry, I thought that said fine heavy armour. Now I'm going to take fine shield and take that instead. Oh no, because I don't get the fitted heavy plate.
I mean, the fitted heavy plate would be just fine. I'm just thinking that...
Yeah, in which case what I'll do is I'll take a fine shield and the fitted heavy plate, because the fine tower shield replaces any shield you have. So I'll just have a fine tower shield, a fine hand weapon, and fitted heavy plate.
Yeah, that sounds great, because then you can use the tower shield as well.
I misread it. I thought fine heavy weapon and fitted heavy plate were part of like the same lot, and they're not.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the fitted heavy plate anyway.
Yeah,
So.
and I've gone for I've put my 2 dots of like utility load into relinquery in case we get any corruption.
And you get that by default because the quartermaster spent it, so you have 2 dots to spend still. You get
sweet.
the free reliquary because the quartermaster gave you some stuff.
Can I also chuck us some black shot, please?
If you want to, yeah.
Well, I was
if
going to say,
use one of your dots.
We've got it.
I'll say if you want, I can just use my 2 utility load and take black shot. You don't have to use your points because I've now got 2 utility load free since you've.
Now, if I remember correctly, tell me if I'm wrong. If I spend the quartermaster's black shot, it gives everybody on this mission some black shot.
Yeah, it gives everyone 3 black shot for free.
Yeah, whereas if you spend your 2 points on that, you've not got 2 extra bits of equipment, and nobody else gets any. So yeah,
In
I
which
may
case,
as well pull you all up. You can always give it back when you come back.
In which case, since we've got black shot relinquary for free, I'm going to take supplies and oil as my 2.
Good. So yeah, you definitely, now that you picked supply and the rookie picked supply, you have enough food, I think, to last for quite a bit. And the rookie has fresh food as well, which is better. All right, so let's see. The laborers. A catch-all category for blacksmiths, engineers, and carpenters that travel with and work alongside the Legion. So each unit of laborers puts 1 tick on any appropriate long-term project during your campaign actions, regardless of whether you work on them or not. They also increase your score at the end of the game because they will help you build up the fortress if you take them there. Laborers must be able to work on projects they tick, so they can't add ticks to alchemical projects or clocks they don't have the resources to affect. So basically manual labor, and it goes on like every campaign turn. They will build some like contribute to a building project that you can then set, obviously. Okay, so everyone gets for free the reliquary and black shot, and then you have 2 more boxes to tick for utility. Yeah. So.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, we are stocked up to the max.
Just imagine that this is kind of.
This is what happens when you give the quartermaster a supply mission.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the guns come out.
That's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I just imagine me getting the normal rookie stuff, and then the quartermaster just putting like black shot and reliquaries on top.
Yeah, we're all there like, oh, can we afford to get some more gunpowder? The quartermaster's like, no.
No, we don't use that anymore. We use black shot now. So just to highlight it, the Kingfisher Knight does not get a gun unless you pick the hand. Sorry, no, you can't even pick it. So you don't have a thing that can fire black shot. You're carrying an extra, so that's great, but that's you carrying the ammunition for someone else.
Yeah, I was literally only thinking of taking it originally in case someone else with a gun needed it.
Yeah, for example, the rookie, because the rookie has a gun.
Exactly,
so they can always shoot. And so does the doctor. The doctor has a pistol.
I'm going to say the doctor has a pistol and would probably immediately hand it over to the heavy, as the doctor has done on all the previous missions.
To be fair, I'm pretty much stacked as a melee combatant, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, you're a tank. So, yeah, if Theonin hands the pistol over to the Kingfisher Knight as a sort of backup piece, we're getting a very heavy sort of pacifist vibe for Theonin going on here, because that's all he's been doing. He's about the medicine and the mercy of healing, and he's just constantly pushing the gun away. He's just like, no, I don't want that. Okay, so Theonin and Cole, are you good with your stuff? Have you picked your things?
Ready to go. Ready to die survive for the Legion.
Survive for the Legion. Hashtag.
Place your faith in strength at arms.
Yeah.
To have you with us, Kingfisher.
Yeah, we need some 40k aphorisms here.
This proves nothing in the
An open mind is like a fortress with its gates unguarded and unbarred and
The
unguarded.
commander makes his plans upon a golden potty.
In the grim darkness of our journey to Skydagger Keep, there is only war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite literally. Okay, so if everyone's all stocked up, we can. I'll just take that and that. So if everyone's all stocked up, we can move on. So we already had our disastrous engagement roll, which will color things going forward. So yeah, you meet with Morana, who's this um, middle-aged aldermoney, which is the where we are, the local people. So she's an aldermoney smith, and she's leading this uh, group of various craftspeople who have decided that things are probably going to go really badly, and we need as many people as possible to do things going forward. So they've been doing this round of going about the local villages in this corner of the plains to basically spread the knowledge of the craft as much as they can in whatever time they have left to propagate survival odds, basically. So they've come forth because you're blatantly not locals, and the locals kind of don't like you, as mentioned in the brief for Plainsworth. The people around here still quite well remember the days of the old empire and the fact that they became independent from it when the empire fell. They don't necessarily have a lot of affection for things that are of the old empire, which the Legion is from. That's
How's that independence doing for him at the minute?
it's not going so well for them, or anyone for that matter. But the old empire is when because we already know from the Tantari banner legacy that the first emperor gifted the Legion their first standard, their banner, and the Legion, while not like ostensibly working for the empire, they hail from the empire from back in the day, and they did like a segment of the Legion has always been basically like the sort of retired or gone private segment of the like the Praetorian Guard of the Emperor. So they always had this like strong component inside the Legion which had heavy ties to the Empire while not working directly for the Empire. But yeah, the locals still carry some like inherent distrust towards you because you're not from here, and you are the storied Legion, and the storied Legion, it is known that they fought for the empire. So there's a fair bit of notice that you get, and there's just this sort of almost like oppressive atmosphere of fear in Plainsworth. And you're one of the few people who are sort of outside actors, and as such, the group of crafts people and pilgrims of the local two deities have approached the Legion to basically state that we will help you if you help us. And you've determined that this is what we're going to do. We will scratch their back, and they will help us on our mission to get Skydagger Keep. And you have detached the Ember Wolves, led by Theonin and accompanied by the legendary Kingfisher Knight, a little bit of an older Zemiati fellow with a glorious campaign war mustache. And you can determine, John, whether or not the Kingfisher Knight has shorn the long sort of hermit hair that he had going. That wasn't by intent. It's just the fact that he had secluded himself because he was cursed and it was awful.
I think he'd have probably shaved the side, but sort of like as a mark of like respect for his past, and so he doesn't forget the lessons learned. He'll do that bit we have it sort of like the top bit sort of like plaited and going down the back.
Yep. So the Kingfisher Knight is kind of cleaned up, mustache, probably waxed with like weapon oil or something. And we have the Ember Wolves, and you meet on the outskirts, outside Plainsworth, you meet this caravan, basically a couple of humble wagons and carts that the craftspeople have stocked full of their respective materials, tools, and things that they have made. And you set out at daybreak from Plainsworth, going north towards the plains and the edges of the Blackwood, which is the forest north of Plainsworth. The craftspeople are pleasant enough. They're not. They don't give you a hard time for a long while. They take a bit to warm up, but they are essentially motivated by a mission of like pious charity. So they lay down their whatever reticence they might have about, oh, these Legion folks. They know that things are really bad, and you're one of the few people that are actually up to doing this kind of thing, and they warm up to the Legion pretty quick because they need to. They need to trust you in order to do their thing. So, like I said, it's going to take several days. So probably the first couple of nights spent is probably going to be a bit of the like getting to know everyone because you're sharing the same campfires and everything. Unless you aren't, which Theonin, how is the Legion approaching this situation? Are you buddying up with the Pilgrims? Morana is the leader, obviously the one with the clout, someone to
I
talk
will
to.
be encouraging all of our people to be as pleasant as possible to the pilgrims.
Yep. So Theonin is encouraging the fairly rough and tumble Ember Wolves to like just go and just have a chat with someone. Like, don't like leave your axe.
Not even that. Just kindly don't spit at them or swear at them or try and do anything intimidating to them. If you want to take the piss and be a load of dickheads, fine. No worries about that. That's grand. Don't do it to them.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that the Kingfisher Knight is possibly better qualified than I am to be like doing the sort of actual fighty soldiers guarding this thing. So I'm going to delegate that task to you. You're going to organize how these rookies are like spread out and how the actual group's being defended.
Understood. I'll do my
meanwhile-
utmost to weld them into a fighting force.
Meanwhile, obviously, we do need to like buddy up to these people. We need to get as many recruits as possible in. And yeah, I have various skills that I can trade for free in the same way that they are. So yeah, I'm going to systematically go around various different ones. And when we're like in whichever village, just go, right, can I stand at the end of your table and offer my services to that guy with a big boil or that pregnant woman or whatever in the same way that you guys are.
Right. So, thus starts the pilgrimage. And let's see, bring up my notes. So, we're escorting these Aldermoney pilgrims and their leader Morana to a dozen villages in the north of Plainsworth. Now, we're not going to go through each of these hamlets and thorps in detail. There's a dozen of them. We'll pick 3. I've established day 1, day 2, and day 3 for us to go through in a little bit more detail. So, day 2, and I think this is us at basically sunset. We arrive at the last place where we're going to stay for the night, maybe, unless maybe the Legion, maybe the Pilgrims, whoever, maybe we decide later. This might be our stop for today. We might continue throughout the night, depending on how you guys determine that. But we arrive at Elterlin. It's a small village. Oh, did we lose? I saw someone drop a... Matthew, are you in Roll20?
I'm still here. I should be in roll 20.
I can't see you in Roll20. Oh, there we go.
I'm dead.
Yeah, some connection issues here. So we're arriving at the Elterlin village at this glorious sunset. The village is in the midst of wheat fields, so you're basically striding through fields of gold. And you are greeted at the humble village by farmhands and herders. Now, right off the bat, as the caravan pulls in and people start noticing your legionary armor, which is the standard fare, if well, I guess, yeah, if you're not heavy, the standard fare is going to be some chain and a bunch of leather, and it's all made to standard, so it has the legion emblems and whatnot, and people pick up on that real quick in Elterlin, and you can see, because the village elder like hobbles out from their hut to meet the pilgrims, and there's a moment after they've greeted with Morana. Obviously, these pilgrims have been here before, so there's the embrace, and then the elder's eyes fall on the legion guards of this pilgrim trail caravan, and there's the narrowing of the eyes, and then like leaning to the side to talk to some of the villagers. Now, there's no guards here. That's not how villages work, really. You don't have people whose job is to stand guard, but people have come out because it's dangerous times. They've come out with whatever implements they might use to defend themselves. So you have people with pitchforks, someone's carrying like a lumber axe. There's people with various field tilling implements, and just like kitchen appliances that have come out. And
Friendly faces, boys. Nobody needs a pitchfork in the eye.
Well, I was going to say we see these people who've clearly got stout hearts, even if they're not trained combat people. So I think obviously the Kingfish and I will feel sort of like a little bit sorry for them, but also like a little bit pleased. You know, they're obviously making a stand, even if they lack the skills. So if there's any like little tips or sort of pointers I can give them to sort of maximize what resources they do have using my combat experience, I will of course do so.
Oh, right. So then let's start with that then, unless Theonin has a different idea here.
I would also suggest that those of us that have encountered the undead have some conversation with a couple of the village elders and just share with them as much information as we can about how to kill these creatures. Everything we know, we need to spread as far as possible so that other people know how to fight it if we get killed. So yeah, whoever seems like a competent fighter, Kingfisher Knight, make sure they get that sort of information.
Understood.
All right. So yeah, you can see obviously one of the elders picks you out from the caravan. Obviously, there is something going on there. They turn to their fellow villagers. There's a whispered conversation, and the narrowed eyes spread throughout a like hefty segment of the crowd that have come out to greet you. And now you can see the pilgrims already. They're like pulling stuff out of the wagons. Like it's the sun is setting. However, they're not going to stop. Like they will keep going as long as they can into the night, because they only have a limited amount of time. So there's going to be soon enough hammers ringing, saws going on. You can see one of the trades people just like handing out tools. So they have a big crate that they've opened. They're handing out tongs. There's hammers coming out, just giving these people these tools to help them do whatever they need. Now, Kingfisher Knight, because you're going to presumably go and approach these people with your intentions of maybe helping them, spreading some info.
Yes.
tell me how you do that and give me a roll of some.
Okay, so you described like these people have got like their pitchforks and whatever, and they're obviously sort of they'd got some sort of makeshift defense measures in case they were attacked. So I'm imagining it's one of those scenes where like, I'll see someone holding a pitchfork, and that they're probably holding it like a farmer rather than a weapon because.
Blatantly.
And I'll just sort of do that thing where I sort of like I reach out my sword and sort of like lift up the pitchfork and sort of like move behind them and like alter their posture a little bit and say, hold it like this when you meet the enemy. It'll give you a greater chance of fending off their blows, and hopefully parlay that into a sort of a bit of a conversation, like, you know, if it attracts a bit of attention. And then I'll start sort of I'll talk a little bit about my history with like fighting the undead, and, you know, try and get across the fact that I've got a lot of combat experience. And then I'll try and sort of start giving them, like I say, just like little simple tips they can do to sort of maximise their efficiency. I mean, I'm mainly going to be going for sort of like discipline, because I'm trying to command obedience using like my force of personality. So I'm trying to sort of win them over a little bit by sort of going like, oh, I'm not asking for anything. It's just like a few like little things you can do to like make yourself better. Look, we're here to try and defend you. As far as I'm concerned, the more you can defend yourselves, the better. It's in our best interest to make sure that you can protect yourselves. And then I'll go into like, oh, I've been fighting for umpteen years, and I've learned a few things. Perhaps I can pass on some of that wisdom to yourselves.
Yeah, good. Yeah, give us a roll. It will be desperate, as we know.
Yep.
From the engagement roll.
Six.
Okay. Yeah.
Kingfisher out.
So you do it. There's a bit of hesitation there, but yeah, you start picking out some of these people with the sort of more applicable weapon type objects that they're carrying, and you start giving them pointers on how to do it when there's need. And I think with that, just because in the interest of time, we're not going through like a detailed play-by-play here. So the Kingfisher Knight's role, which was if you had failed that, things would have gone real bad for you. But you do it with a 6. There's no repercussions here. The Kingfisher Knight's demeanor steals these people into thinking that, yeah, we could be an actual like militia.
I'll be doing that thing where I'm like, weapons are good, but your faith is your strongest defense against these foul creatures. Have faith in yourselves and in each other.
And unless Theonin and Kole have something to do in this particular instance, in this evening, we can move on to the next bit.
What will Kole do? He is going to try and keep out of the way for the most part. Being a rookie, but he's going to see if he can get any like extra supplies and things, or just like little like bits for the cooking, and just, you know, offer some of his food with the command with Theonin's permission, offer to cook food for our guests.
Mhm.
Yeah, I am going to make it very clear that you are not to be pilfering from the locals.
Not pilfering, like just seeing if there's extra things there.
Obviously, if Kole does require some additional supplies, I have some that I'm quite willing to.
I'm stacked.
Indeed, as do I. Do not steal from. Repeat, do not go on the rob.
Kole will not steal.
By all means, get the dinner on.
I will not let you and the Kingfisher down.
If you want to see if you can requisition a cooking pot from one of the people in the wagon train, I'm sure they've probably got one that they wouldn't mind loaning you.
A good Zimiati pot. I pull out like out of my kit bag, like a well-worn.
Marvelous.
Okay, so you're starting up a Zemiati stew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
get some stew on, and if there's anybody that's hungry, share
So
politely.
if we're feeding everyone from our legionary unit
Uh-huh.
here, please mark off 7 supply because it's 1 per legionnaire.
Ooh, okay.
Right, I'll mark off 2.
I'll take 2. Yeah, take 2 off. It was 4. I can do the rest if need be. I can.
Theonen's going to take off 3, so
Yeah,
we
I've
got-
taken 3 off, so we're sorted.
Cool.
I've got 2 left, and I assume you've both got 3 left.
Yep.
Grand.
I'm gonna make sure they're fit.
All right. So you get some of the locals coming by. They have their own food. I think you might. Let's actually, Cole, add on 1 more to your supply there because the locals will, thanks to the Kingfisher,
Ooh,
the locals will bring you a basket of bread. So
nice.
you can go by with
Bread.
1 less
Ooh.
supply because they give you some bread because you help them. They were about to jump your asses, but the Kingfisher Knight disarmed them with his sort of upright demeanor, where they expected you to be bandits. The Kingfisher Knight brings in a whole different take, which they, because of the role here, they fully revise their opinion of you and give you a gift of the land as is custom. So you get some fresh bread, which is that's something you haven't had in a while, and
It's good.
then we have a wholesome evening of camping and listening to the Smiths pound away.
Can I just check something?
Yeah.
What's the weather like at the moment?
The weather is fairly calm. You can see that there's probably, and you can smell it as well on the air, that there's probably some of the last sort of big rains of the fading summer are on the way to herald autumn. But for now, it's fairly clear skies, and the wind is moderate.
What is the terrain that we're in? What is it like?
Fields of wheat in every direction,
Okay.
and the village is like perched probably on a slight hill of some kind.
Are there any trees nearby?
Probably a fair few, just sort of close by.
Okay. Basically, if the amber wolves are available, what I'd like to set them the task of finding some suitable objects, or I'll make it clear they're not to take anything from the pilgrims or the villagers unless it is freely offered. Basically, stuff that if we get attacked, we can use as like barricades to like hide behind as for cover.
Please give me a fortune roll with 2 dice.
Okay.
2 dice because that's the resources of Plainsworth. Resources rating.
6.
Yeah. You have a bundle of wood that you can now use to make very makeshift, very sort of carry with you barricades.
Yeah, I'm literally thinking of if we get attacked, because presumably since it's big fields of wheat, if something's coming through it, we'll see them from a fair distance.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm thinking stuff to like get behind with like our pistols and
Yeah.
whatever, so that like if they start shooting back at us, we've at least got a bit of cover.
Yep.
And also hopefully any non-combatants, like any of the villagers who aren't armed, can try and like get behind us to get a bit of shelter.
Yep. Okay, good. So the Ember Wolves are busy gathering wood and also making these paragades that then can be deployed at your leisure, because you don't really know where. Like it's the least defensible position you could think, other than you have great visibility, because it's just a village with some huts. And that's it. So please, Kingfisher, because you've been delegated basically to the defense admin here, please give me a 1 die fortune roll to see if anything goes wrong in the night. It does. So I'll do another one here. Well, no, let's just go with that. Yeah. So that was a bad one. So yeah, what that means is you start hearing very loud animal noises in the night coming from one of the fields, which the farmhands sort of go to check if their flock is where it's supposed to be because it's grazing nearby. And it's all kind of accounted for except for one flock of sheep, and you can definitely hear those sheep in the field, which they're not necessarily supposed to be there, but maybe they slip their sort of pen. Who knows what happens? But those
Maybe
sheep.
some dickhead nicked the gate.
Yeah, maybe someone took the gate to make a barricade. I'm just saying. Yeah, so there's sheep in the distance in the dark field, making a whole bunch of noise, and that's not supposed to happen. What do you do?
I'm going to instruct the Ember Wolves to form a sort of a defensive perimeter as best we can.
So you're setting your barricades around the sort of small hill that the village is on.
Yeah, I'll make it clear to them that our main aim is protect the people inside the barricades at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
will go to my appointed position in this.
Yep. Get your musket out. Yep.
Steady, boy, steady.
Yeah, the Amber Wolves as well bring out their guns because they're all rookies. They all have guns. So you have everyone
Okay.
lining up. Yep.
Ember Wolves, you're brilliant guys. You've done a stonking job on these barricades. Can I just ask, are any of these made out of part of that sheep pen?
I think Cole, that's up to you because you speak for the Amber Wolves here.
I do not think so. You told us to play nice with the
Indeed.
village. We
If
followed orders.
we didn't damage that sheep pen, somebody else has let those sheep out. Quite possibly to ask us to like lead us out of the village.
Reckon it's a trap.
Sheep are replaceable. We remain here.
I agree.
Agreed?
I agree with the commander. It's if they have
Agreed.
set up a trap for us, that it is our duty to not fall for it. We should
They
hold
come for
fast.
us. We will find us ready.
Yeah. All right. So you settle in. Everyone's sighting their muskets into the dark field, which, to be fair, there's a whole bunch of wheat growth there as well, and it is in fact night. So yeah, the visibility is good if you could see anything. Eventually, the sheep noise. Yeah.
Perhaps I can help with that. I do have some oil. So what I will attempt to do is, since the barricades are made of wood, effectively for each barricade, I'll go around like a bit of my oil, so we can have like a torch between each of the barricades. So I know it's not going to shed light in a massive distance, but at least enough so if they start coming closer, we can see what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know how many uses of my oil you'd like me to cross off for that.
Let's just use one because
Okay.
you're doing torches that are not meant to last beyond tonight, so
Yeah,
that's fine.
it's entirely a temporary measure.
Yep. So you get some torches going, which it's more of a comfort really than actual like light.
Well, that's it. A large part of it's to set the people inside the walls' mind at ease. You know, we are doing something and we're trying to protect them, because if they panic and they start fleeing, as Commander Theonin said, if we break and run from here, that's obviously what they're trying to get us to do, so they can pick us off more easily. We need to keep everyone safe.
Yep. Eventually, the sheep noise reaches a pitch. You you think you spot a couple of sheep running, not to the village necessarily, but like off into the other fields, like the adjacent fields, and then the noise dies down, and from the field which you've aligned your barricades towards, you can hear in the dead of night, because everyone's silent, only the torches are kind of spitting. You hear rustling in the field, and eventually you start spotting silhouettes that are brushing through the wheat growth.
Ready your weapons, men.
Right. So yeah, you see. You don't exactly know how many, because it's very dark at night, but at least a dozen silhouettes coming towards the village at a sort of steady walking pace through the wheat field.
Right. Okay. Since my sort of specialisation is fighting as part of a unit and commanding a unit, I'm going to be trying to sort of make sure everyone's sort of working together. You know, that whole sort of like, right, hold, like wait until they get within range, or we can reasonably hit them and we can see them a bit better. And I'm going to sort of, I'll have my gun sort of braced against a barricade, so I can have one of my hands up. And I'll be doing that whole thing where you like lower your hands so we all like fire at once. I'm trying to keep everyone very sort of disciplined and fighting like a unit, rather than just sort of like madly going off and all fighting in different directions.
All right. So yeah, it is blatantly dead bodies. Eventually, the movements and such, they give it away. There are at least a dozen coming at you, picking up some pace as they get closer to the village, and eventually they start running. And you have the Ember Wolves there. Cole has a gun, a musket, and the Kingfisher has a pistol, but that's short range.
Yeah.
Weapon.
To be honest, I'm going to, because I don't think the pistol's much cocked to it, I'm going to hand it and the black powder back to Theonin. And I'm gonna get my like tower shield and my weapon ready, and I'm gonna stand between two of the barricades that have got the Ember Wolves behind, sort of plugging that gap and trying to sort of stand between them, so I can both give them orders and sort of hopefully be a bit of a morale booster to them.
Yep.
And I get bonuses for defending a group, so.
Yeah.
I also have a shield, which I think is a fairly small shield, and since I have a pistol, I assume that means I'm all right to.
Yeah. You're good to have a shield and a pistol.
Yeah. So I will plug up the other barricade gap wherever there's another one.
Yep.
And also stand with the Ember Wolves.
Okay.
Shitting myself and hoping that this Kingfisher Knight's going to command us quite well.
I'm going to hold my sword up and I'm going to be like, steady, man. Steady. And then when I think they're within like musket range, I'm going to be like, fire! And lower my sword down.
All right, so let's have a shoot here. So, Cole, you're free to shoot on your own. Theonin, I think you're free to take a pot shot with your pistol. And then I think Kingfisher Knight, you can make a fortune roll for the Ember Wolves, because you're kind of commanding them. So let's see. They're probably just because they're not soldiers. Yeah. So it's just the one die for them. Okay, so they have 4. Yep. Okay, Theonin busting some caps. And Cole?
I think they might have pushed the medic too far.
No, I'm helping them.
What position are we currently? Is it risk? Is it desperate?
It's risky. We were going to be very desperate, but then the Kingfisher rolled a 6, and now we're not anymore.
Now we're sorted. Okay.
Yeah, you do a critical.
Good shot, boy!
So
That's never happened before in any of these games.
So like, what is this strange thing?
Please tell me what
So,
this.
and of course we know from the previous session that Cole had fairly bad luck with great amounts of dice. Cole had really bad rolls last time. However, today, Cole on the level, making criticals, shooting the musket, dropping several of these bodies, which you
It was
know
the
by
stew.
now,
The
because
stew.
the bullets just like you can see them having enough. They stagger these corpses as they run towards the village. You know that these aren't the blighters troops, because the blighter, you've learned recently, has taken to armoring her troops, which is
Yep.
disconcerting in the extreme. but
How
um,
dare they?
but these ones aren't carrying armor. So yeah, yeah, as the old Zemedi proverb says, "Let the bodies hit the floor." Uh, Cole, you're doing the thing, Theonin as well, firing off headshots into the crowd of these. Uh, you think because you've only known two broken to be active in this particular front of the war. This must be the breakers forces then, because you've kind of determined that maybe not the blighter then, because the blighter's troops are hardier than this. Um, However, the Ember Wolves rolled a 4, which means they suffer consequences. Now,
No,
the Kingfisher
not dead
Knight,
troops.
the Kingfisher Knight is in a position to deal with this sort of thing. So the Kingfisher, yeah, you hear from behind you the barrage of musket fire going off. You see the corpses dropping. However, there's enough that they can't all be shot at once. So there's in fact a group of them that reaches you and the barricades, and uh, there's some of the Ember Wolves in their like sort of exhilaration of like getting great shots in. They forget to like step back in time, where some of these uh,
Uh, uh,
seemingly blackened and sort of partially burned corpses, like they start to reach out over the barricades to like drag these people off.
okay, at this point, can I spend one of my
Yes.
anchor uses to use a special armor against consequences to a squad I'm defending?
Yeah, the
And
bulwark.
yeah, and that'll be basically me sort of like dragging them back behind the barricades, or like putting my tower shield in the way so the undead are like scraping against the tower shield.
Yep. So you're doing that and saving these people from certain deaths, because that's what happens to these NPC rookies. You would have had 2 dead bodies on the floor. However, you bust in, you batter these seemingly burnt bodies away with your tower shield. You push the Ember Wolves back from being like dragged off into the field and being destroyed, eaten. And as you batter these, you know the folks in the army took to calling these particular types of undead the burned, because that's kind of what they look like half scorched, um, sort of flaky burnt skin. You're fighting these burnt off from the barricade. A lot of them died in the field already, which is, you're feeling good about that. However, you're feeling less good about the howl that comes up from where the burned emerged and where the sheep noise originally was. It's not human, and you don't think it's an animal noise either. It's something else. And
Okay, so in response, I'm going to pull out my flare gun and I'm going to fire a flare up into the air to like illuminate the scene so we can get like a bit more light on what's going on.
So you're battering the burned away. You're firing your flare gun in the air, and in the flare gun's light, everyone can now see there's a big form coming through the wheat fields. It is probably on all fours, like 4-legged thing, coming through the wheat fields. You don't exactly see what it is, but you see that it's relatively big and it's coming at very fast speed.
Pour all of your fire into the large creature. I'll hold these back.
Yeah, so you're smashing the burnt.
Yeah, and I'm just
Theonin.
directing them to all fire at this
Yeah, let's
giant
shoot that
mother.
thing.
Yep. So Theonin, Cole, if you're
might be-
shooting the thing,
This might be a black shot type situation. Let's put
Mhm.
it in.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. Theonin putting in the fire.
what have I done? That's not what I want to do. Hang on. Shoot. Still a
Maybe
risky
maybe
situation.
consider pushing yourself, Colo.
Oh yeah, I will push myself. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. I forgot Rocky is hushed. Too stress. Risky effect. Standard bonus die 1. Boom.
Okay. Good. And yeah, we didn't talk about it specifically because of a thing that now will become apparent. But you're using your black shot, right?
Yep.
Which gives you potency against the undead,
Yes.
and that would increase your effect. However, it doesn't because it's not undead. So
Ah,
a great
Lesson learned.
form like leaps up for like 20 meters away from the actual barricade where the kingfisher is keeping the burnt off, jumps up this creature that is sort of extremely bulky, so in places bulging with muscle, in places not so much, ram-headed man creature with one foot as a human foot, the other foot has the sort of ram foot with the cloven hoof and everything. Two big graspy hands with what in the light of the flare that is now lighting up this place, you see like glinting claws and just the most awful braying that you've ever heard from any throat, because well, this isn't an
So man
ordinary
bear
throat.
sheep is real and it's coming for us, is what you're
It,
saying.
yeah, it jumps from 20 meters away and lands at the barricade. Basically, Theonin takes almost a point blank shot at the thing. However, it will take a swipe at you in return, which obviously we know you can resist this. So what we're looking at here is this is what the troops call transformed. This is a cursed human being. It's going to rake its claws on you, dealing 2 damage and 2 corruption. Now, you can resist this, not the corruption though. You can resist the damage if you want to by
So
doing your.
we have got relinquirers.
Yeah, you do have reliquaries, yeah.
Okay, so can I get use some more reliquary and resist the?
Yeah, the damage. So if you tick
What's
off
the
2,
resist roll? It's
I think prowess in this instance because
Yeah.
you're trying to dodge being clawed at.
skirmish. Yeah, makes sense.
Does it get all of us?
It will get you as well because of your roll.
Me and my big mouth.
So no cost to resist the damage. However, tick off 2 uses of your reliquary because you resist the inherent corruption in this
Does it
creature.
just burn them up and crumbles them like they actually?
Yeah, there's the reliquaries are pieces of the bodies of old chosen, so dead chosen. Just like the Catholic Church has like bones of the saints. This is the same kind of deal. So you will have like a small thing, like a copper cage or whatever, with like a bone in it, and you can have that and clutch it, and when the corruption of undeath comes upon you, it will blacken the corpse, and eventually it will fall to ash when it's too much for it to absorb. But yeah, your reliquary absorbs 2 of the corruption here, which is all of it, and you dodge, you dodge the thing. You might get like backhanded, but that's all. You're sent staggering back because you have your shield and everything to help you as well. However, Cole, you get bitten by this awful sort of
No.
old meat breath having goat person man. As Theonin gets the appendage, it leans in your direction. It tries to jump on your arm.
So what's the
So
damage? Just for
2 damage, 2 corruption.
So 2 damage, so 2 harm.
Yeah, 2 harm.
I'm,
Level
I'm
2 harm,
wear-
and
I'm wearing armor, believe it or not.
yeah, so you can reduce that by using one of your armor, which is the only armor you have,
Yeah.
to 1 harm.
Yeah, so I can take that. Flesh wound.
Can I use another one of my my anchors?
You could use your bulwark.
Yeah.
To
I'm going to spend
reduce
that.
that.
I'm going to spend an anchor to reduce it by 1 with his armor,
Yeah,
so no
so-
damage.
Let's see. Let me read bulwark to see what it says. Special armor against yeah. So you literally So I think the Kingfisher Knight comes barreling forward, seeing this. It's kind of like think like a bodybuilder with some like inconsistently built muscle. A fairly bulky person. The Kingfisher like, oh shit, what is that thing? Comes in with the tower shield, helping you out. So you take no damage. However, you take 2 corruption unless you
can
use
you-
a reliquary,
Yes.
which you will probably use.
Yes. So 2 of those go bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever the sacred relic you have is, it turns extremely gray.
Is that a collection of teeth?
Yeah, you can have like a bag of teeth, and they rot inside the bag. Okay, good. So
What is this thing?
it chomps on your like leather vambrace and just like rips it off, and just like "Ah!" Yells at you, and you're
I imagine
pelted with
we
this
do similar
fetid
that, given
breath.
that we're Zemyat here.
Yeah,
Uh,
screaming back, and the burned. Meanwhile, continuing their assault.
Ole hopes he gives
So
you the
yeah,
shits.
let me get your results in here. So we have a clock for this. So I've put a Bob Plainsworth in the plains. We have a transformed clock. So we have the results here. So Theonin got a shot in, and Cole got a shot in. Now, what are the weapons you're using? Give me the exact thing. Is it just a pistol, or is it a fine pistol, or
Musket.
musket? Okay. So that's that. And
But it's
then
my musket.
Theonin, what's your pistol like? Is it a fine pistol or just a like regular ass pistol? Fine pistol. Okay, yeah. Right. Good. Okay, so you've got some shots in. The transformed is bleeding from these shots. However, it's not by a long shot going down yet. All right, the burnt, meanwhile, are going up against the Ember Wolves. Kingfisher, can you give me another fortune roll for the Ember Wolves? Again, 1 die.
Two.
Oh. So the Ember Wolves are looking at 2 dead bodies, unless...
I'll use the last of my anchor to avoid that.
So you can save one of them. Giving them special armor gets rid of one.
Yeah,
So
I'll do that.
yeah. So you swoop in because you're trying to be everywhere and you're doing a really good job of it. However, there comes a time when even the Kingfisher Knight can't be everywhere, saving everyone. So I think Marshall, let's choose. You pick which one of the Ember Wolves dies, and it's not going to be Cole because we know this already. So you can pick who goes down, but Kingfisher, you see like one of the Ember Wolves go down, one of the burnt is on top of them. You can hear the short death scream, which is cut short because there's the as their throat is being torn out.
I imagine we're at the stage where like, the Kingfisher Knight has been running left and right, like throwing himself in the way of everyone. Or like his shield's like looking quite battered. He's like breathing quite heavily because I've spent all like my anchor uses, so I'm like breathing quite heavily. Like I'm probably not holding my weapons quite as high as I was because I'm like
Yeah.
So I've been
Fuck
like running
this.
backwards and forwards, like diving in the way of blows and stuff.
Yeah, in full like armor as well.
I'll shout across to Coley and Fiernan. I'm like, I've got to see these off. Can you handle that beast? I'll be sort of like fighting the burned off as I'm doing that.
Hmm.
Yeah, we'll do our best. So that thing's literally just gone like over the top of me, right?
Yeah, basically like
While
and
I
you,
was pretty much
yeah,
scrunched up under my shield.
yeah.
So I've had a good chance to get a look at how it's put together.
Hmm.
Can I maybe have some sort of a roll to like work out what its weak spot is?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. What will you roll for that? Something from the, I guess, the intellectual portion.
Doctor.
Doctor is not a thing you can roll here. However, it is a thing. It's one of your
How
spent
about
resources thing.
yeah? No,
However,
I meant. Oh,
yeah, I was
Oh.
gonna say because we can extemporize shit based on that as well if we don't have anything else. Do you have? I guess research is a thing, but it sounds more involved than like figuring it out on the go. So we could do a fortune roll with using how many dots you have in Doctor to determine that.
I have the same number of dots in Doctor or research.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
the insight column.
Yeah. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter then.
Yeah.
Just roll one or the other, and we can figure that out. Oof, no. Okay, so bad
So I think
consequences.
I've spotted its weak spot. I've gone in and got way too close. It's the only thing that makes sense there, really, isn't it? I've gone in to try and hit its weak spot.
Hmm.
There isn't a kidney there.
Yeah, it's
I
somewhere
thought
else.
there would be, but no, it turns out there isn't. Oh, and now I'm right up in its face again.
Yeah. You can tell from the portions of it that some of it is less affected by whatever curse this is and more human as a result, which is the place where you want to hit, because the place with the layers of muscles upon muscles probably a little bit less effective there. So you're going for like one of the internal organs that you can see isn't covered by extra cartilage and stuff. You go in, yeah, probably, yeah. You have your pistol, you shoot at very like point blank range. You just blow out a hole in its side, and the shot goes right through. And the thing looks in your direction, and I think you get the hoof. You get the kick, and it sends you flying unless you resist it, of course. So for this one, it's gonna again 2 damage, 2 corruption, unless you resist and use your things and whatnot.
Which am I rolling for resistance?
Prowess again. Oh, sorry. By the way, yeah, I'll try and remember it for the future here. So, 1 stress to avoid the damage. I entirely forgot that you can roll to resist the corruption with your resolve. So let's do that from now on, since I actually remember that. So if you roll your resolve, we can see if you even need to. No, you don't need to use your reliquary. Your basically what happens is you go in, you shoot the point blank range, blow out a chunk in the side. It doesn't care, gives you the kick. You go like spinning on the ground. However, you're fine. You're fine, but you're away from it now. So, Cole, what up? You see Theonin get kicked away by the transformed.
Oh God. What do I do?
You're there.
Shoot it, boy!
I.
And at that, you can hear Pavel, boy,
Yeah, he's still around.
like Roger, and turns from fighting the burned to shoot at the transformed.
I'll try and shoot at the thing. I'll try.
Yeah.
God damn it. I'll try. Just we risk your desperate situation here.
It's still risky.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
Huh!
Yeah, you do it. You shoot it. I have the feeling that I'm doing this a little bit easy again, but
You know what? I'm okay
yeah, I
with
know,
that.
I know. It
I
doesn't
am
feel like that.
okay.
But
Blades
the
Master, you
deck,
do not need to sharpen your.
yeah, as John is fond of saying, the deck really is stacked against the Legion. The more I read the book, the more I'm like, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, so the transformed gets tagged again with the musket shot. Ah, no, sorry, I've been doing this a little bit wrong. So let me just add on. Yeah, so yeah, it's getting there. It's wheezing, and there's pink froth in the sort of man goat mouth thing with this like
I think I
snaggly
wounded a
tooth.
kingfisher. I think I got it.
What about the guy from the Amber Wolves who was turning to shoot at it?
Yeah, so he's let's you can roll for him as well. Fortune roll, 1 die. Let's see
Go
how.
on, Coley. You roll
Yeah.
for it since
Yeah.
you're in that combat.
Okay.
Because Pavel boy with the mushrooms from last mission is going to take a shot. Oh no! Oh no, Pavel! I think I'm going to turn this over to the Kingfisher. There's an action that we haven't really used. It's called, I think, Protect. Let me
Okay.
look it up.
Apple, no, you got too close.
Because Pavel is going to get his face bitten off by one of these burnt because he's not paying attention
he's gonna
because
get
he's listening to orders that think were meant for him. So, okay, so there's a teamwork thing called Protect, which means you step in to face a consequence that one of your squad mates would otherwise face. You suffer it instead of them. You may roll to resist as normal. Kingfisher, do you want to do that? Because you can
Yeah.
save Pavel.
I'm going to step in.
Yeah. So you step in. One of the burnt is like just about to kill Pavel. So you jump in. You can resist if you want to. Otherwise, it's 1 harm, 1 corruption.
Okay, I'm going to knock off my 1 point of my armor because I get 2
Yep.
because it's heavy to
Yep.
take that, and I'm
Yep.
going to knock off 1 on my reliquary to take the corruption.
Yeah, and you can roll for resolve as well to see if you even need to use your reliquary.
Would I be able to roll for prowess?
No, it's a
to see
resolve.
if-
It's resolve
No, I
every
meant
time with
I
corruption.
meant with the harm. To see if I need to use.
Oh
the armor.
yeah, for sure, exactly, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You're right.
So I'll roll for
Yep.
prowess first. See if I need
Yep.
to.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, I'll take the armor, and then let's see my resolve. Yeah, I'll take that. So I'll take off 1 point of reliquary.
Yep. All right.
But I've saved the boy.
Yeah. Well, the prowess that's a success. So you don't need to use your armor.
Oh, right, okay, sweet.
It will give you 2 stress, but you're fine.
No, I was taking the armor instead of the stress. Because I'll get my arm. We don't automatically recover stress, do we? Whereas I'll get my armor
No, you
back
don't.
for the
But
next
then
mission.
we don't. We can't see the results of that. So we would.
Because for me,
Yeah.
I'll get my armor back when to next mission,
Yeah.
whereas I won't get my
Yeah.
stress back.
So the way that works is then we can't choose at this point to do the stress or the armor. The choice would be in do you even want to try?
Sorry, that's why I was asking about it.
Yeah. 'Cause I got confused because I'm thinking about the corruption thing here, which is
right, okay.
a different thing. So, but you mark because we're trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
You don't need to put down the stress. You mark off your armor,
Yeah.
and then with the resolve. You definitely cannot resist the corruption, so you can put down your 1 use of your
Done.
reliquary, and you step in again. You push the burnt away for who knows how many times already. And Pavel is continuing to fire on the transformed because he's following orders.
That's fine.
Kingfisher, what else are you doing?
Okay, I'm just going to be laying into the burned, basically, skirmish style. Just like wading in with my sword and my tower shield.
Yep.
I'm basically trying to keep them off the Amber Wolves as much as I possibly can, and just like do as much damage to them as I can. So I'm thinking the sooner I finish these up, the sooner I can help with the transform. So okay, so boost it. Skirmish. Presume we're still risky, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. 4.
All right. So yeah, you're looking at 1 damage, 1 corruption. Well, no, and it's because you're fighting the group of them now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, they have scale on you. So that's 2 damage, 2 corruption.
Okay, I'll take the 2 corruption and use the last of my reliquary.
Yep.
And
then 2 damage.
I'll take the 2 damage on my heavy and my shield.
Yep. What does the tower shield do? Does it tell you the
it just says it's a fine tower shield that replaces a shield.
I'll look it up now because it's probably like a 2-use thing, like your heavy armor. But I need to check it. Tower shield. Okay, where's the heavy? Here we go. Fine tower shield replaces shield. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, it's just because it's a fine tower shield as well. You are in a better position there. So you need to mark 1 armor and 1 reliquary to deal with this. Basically, the consequences of this.
Done.
So good. All right.
Fuck,
So
this guy's tough.
yeah, he's
the
built.
toughest motherfucker we've
It's
got.
almost as if he's built for close quarters fighting.
That's why they call me Special K, son.
Yeah. However, the burnt is your melee weapon fine as well? Fine hand weapon? Yeah. I think you lay into them and you break them. So you wade through the remnants of whatever the burnt were left there and you slay them.
Literally, as soon as I'm like stabbing the last one, I'm just going to look back to the Amber Wolves and shout, "Pour all your fire into that behemoth!"
Yep. And as if on cue, there's the of the transformed. Yeah, it's a Cole because you're there now.
Yep.
The onion's away. It's getting shot, but you're there. So
Let's do it.
it's rearing up to do basically one of these, like an overhand smash into pulp. What do you do?
I'm gonna shoot it.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to push yourself? Do you want to get more dice or effect level? You need to have at least standard effect to put it down before it smashes you.
Okay. Am I in a risky position at the moment?
Yeah, risky. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna push it. Yeah. Push it. So
for an extra die.
An extra die. Yeah.
Yep.
But it is still standard effect.
Yeah, standard effect to start with. However, if you fail it, we're probably gonna like downgrade that, and it's not gonna die. I did do critical.
Oh, I think I shot more dice than I should have there. Hang on, sorry. I should have had 2 shoot.
Doesn't matter. The first 2 were crits.
Okay. I don't think
the extras don't count anyway.
I think maybe I added 1 extra dice there by accident. Yeah, I think so.
So you'd have only rolled 2 6s instead of 3.
Yeah. Okay.
So not the devil then. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, as it rears up, you probably like in a full-on speed loading panic, like just not with even aiming, just like fire the musket up.
You know what I do? I'll tell you exactly what I do, and it's right. As it's rearing up towards me, I realise that I put my kit down as I've been like trying to brace. I see my Zimyati cooking pot just off to the side. I sort of kick it like a football.
Okay.
Conk it onto the head so that it spins round, exposing like a little kind of open wound from the Kingfish and Theon, and I just blast it straight through.
Yeah. So you shoot it, and it lets out a long, disturbingly long whine, and twitches and like flops down on the ground. And with that, the transformed and the burnt have been destroyed. You did it. You defended the village
Took it to the limit.
of Elterlin from these creatures in the night. All right, I think we move on.
So, realistically, how many people are there in this village?
Couple of dozen.
Couple of dozen. Make sure that they know the offer is open for them to come and join the Legion, because we can't stay here and protect their village again tomorrow night. It's no longer really about anybody protecting anybody's land or stealing anybody's land. The undead are coming.
Yeah,
Your best chance to live is if you come with us.
yeah.
We're not going to make you.
Using the goodwill I've already gained with them, I'll try and make it clear that like this is just a little taster of what's going to come. It's only going to get worse. We're heading for Skydagger Keep, and their only hope of long-term survival is to come with us. But as Commander Thienen said, we're not going to force them. But if there's any who wish to gather up what provisions they can and make the journey with us, we will do our best to protect them on the way. But we cannot stay here. The Legion must move on.
Please give me a role to convince these people to do that. And this is a thing we're going to have to extemporize. And I think if we succeed in this, we can start a long-term project for like training up some of these Aldermoney villagers.
The marshal will be very impressed.
It's going to be a longer go than like rehabilitating the actual soldiers that you picked up last time, but let's see. So 5 here. Okay.
One of them is a zombie. Wait.
Yeah, I mean, not everything is going to be all good with them joining up. However, we can start the project. Yeah, you get some approving nods. However, as kind of expected, the elders not really keen on that. Like abandoning Elterlin? No. But
quite happily, anybody that doesn't want to come with us, that's grand. We'll make sure that they know what route we're hoping to take, so that anyone that wants to catch up can do. And if you are going to catch up to us, bring as many supplies as you can.
Yep. Alrighty then. Yeah, you get some hangers on from here, and you continue on with your route. The pilgrims seem fairly unfazed with this. They've obviously seen this kind of thing before. The undead, not news to them.
Well, yeah, that's why they hired us, isn't it?
Yeah. They know that they need people like you on these travels here. All right, so day 2. We obviously have visited other places as well, but the thing of note for second day, and looking at the time, we're going to pick up some pace here because we, unfortunately for Elterlin and for Marshall, did you pick who died from the Ember
I
Wolves?
did. Yeah, I put 3 wounds on the person because I know you want the name before I remove it.
Yeah. So who is it?
Oh, I'll just load up the sheet again. It is this individual. It is Alexandra Grenovich.
Okay, so Alexander died, and do we take the body with us? Do we put it on one of these pilgrim wagons to take back, or
Burn it probably.
Burn
Then again,
it.
I'm a rookie. I don't know.
We behead it and we burn it.
Yep. Right. So there's a somber cremation in Elterlin of Alexander Grenovich. And then second day, we arrive at Kolbenhof, which is a former coal mining village. However, the coal, you've been told by the pilgrims, has long since been exhausted, and as a result, Kolbenhof has been struggling with what to do now, because that was the thing that we did. And you've been advised by the pilgrims that it's more or less being the village of Kolbenhof and the area as a result has kind of been taken over by a group of plains bandits. They're not extremely aggressive, sort of marauder types. However, just basically just bad people.
Just the worst.
Yeah, it's kind of like a criminal gang, like setting up in the village and being like, we decide the shots now, and the villagers being poor and desperate, kind of like, yeah, I guess then if you're gonna keep us safe and whatnot. So when you
Okay,
arrive
so
there,
this time, knowing that these guys are fairly militant and hostile,
hmm
I want us to stop outside the village and do a bit of parley before we actually go in there.
hmm
Because if we just like all march in with the troops, there's going to be some people that think we're there to save them from the gangsters, and we're really not. And there's going to be some gangsters that think we're there to fight them, and we're really
Really
not.
not.
hmm
So we need to make a statement and stop outside that village before we enter.
All right, so let's have a parlay roll. So you have some of the Kolbenhof town guard come out and meet you like down the road a bit, and you're having your parlay. There, you're talking sort of. Okay, so who are you people? Why do you have these incredibly efficient-looking arms and armor? Like, what are you doing, guys?
Oh, we're from the Legion. We're protecting these people who are on a pilgrimage and offering their services. By the way, you know about the undead, right?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah, they're on the way, so take advantage of the tradesmen while you can.
I think at that point, to like emphasize issues like, you know, about the undead, I'm gonna like throw down like the severed like arm of like the transformed or something like that, because they're like, oh yeah, well we know about the undead, probably thinking like, oh, a few zombies or whatever, and I'm like, so I throw down this huge arm in front of them.
Yeah, so
They don't know it wasn't undead.
yeah,
Neither did I.
and to be fair, you know that the blighter and the blighter's minions create these horrors, which are the sewn together pieces of people. That fits in, like the big arm. Yeah, that's the thing that the blighter does as well. Yeah, give me a roll, someone, to have this social thing go off without a hitch. If you fail, they will think you're coming over to basically take their operation
I am a
apart.
rookie. I am not in charge of this mission.
Uh,
I should not be in charge of the negotiation. I can make them up some nice meal. I got some like apples, maybe you know, some herbs and spices. Can make up a nice little maybe a nice zimiati pie if I've got any pastry.
Do you want me to speak to them?
Yeah, that may well be wise, since I've only got one dot in consort that might be relevant, and I'm guessing you've got a bit of sway.
Well, I'm going to be trying to use discipline because that's swaying people by like,
That's literally not going to work here, because they have no reason to listen to your like military sort of.
Yeah, they've got no respect for that.
Yeah.
well, no, I'm trying to command obedience through force of personality, which is also
Okay, well,
discipline.
if you're browbeating them, that's a different story.
Yeah, I'm literally doing that whole thing where I'll step forward and I'll be like, you may
Listen
know me.
here.
You may know me as the Kingfisher Knight, and I'll reel off some of my notable like achievements, and I'll be like, and I'm going to point at the arm that I threw down for emphasis, and I'll be like, this is only one of the many lesser beasts that we have fought to arrive here today. If you wish to avoid bloodshed and these creatures destroying you, you will listen to what I say.
Yeah, what he said.
There's a hype man in the background.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Kingfisher in the house.
And just to be clear, it's not us that's planning on shedding your blood. We're here to help.
Okay.
5.
Okay. Unless you resist it, the consequence is they're gonna want some of your food. They're gonna want the fresh food off of Kole. Kole's been talking about it. They know it exists. They want the good shit because they can't get it here.
Give them the food.
Okay.
Are we staying here tonight?
If you want to.
How about we share the food with them? We'll make a meal for everybody. We'll be a bit hungry the next time, but that way Cole gets some of his bread and we don't take a morale penalty to it.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
yep. Good. So again, in the interest
Kingfisher
of time,
referred to me by name.
we
He knows who I am.
he knows who I am. Oh.
Just
Uh,
kidding.
yeah. So you spend the evening in Kolbenhof. It's a fairly sort of grim place, really. Sort of the sort of abandoned mining town vibe going on, with people living in there still, but everyone's sort of given up in here, and even more so with the place basically being run by a despot now. So you set up your cooking. Everyone's been informed by Theonin and the Kingfisher Knight to like, listen, guys, you're probably gonna see some shit here. You might take issue with it. However, we are not starting shit tonight. We're trying to avoid that for the moment. So you have this communal cookout. You invite some of these Kolbenhof town guard, as they call themselves, to share your bread, have a good time, eat, and be merry. And yeah, it
I
goes
was going
off
to
without
say,
a hitch.
what obviously, I know out of character, you said it's gone off without a hitch, but the Kingfisher Knight and the Amber Wolves will just sort of like keep an eye out in case any undead attack or in case these bandits decide, oh, I reckon we can take them. But we're not going to, like Theonin said, we're not going to be starting anything, but we're just going to be sort of ready in case they decide to start anything.
Yeah, it's like sipping the soup with one hand, the other one on the pommel.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a tense night that you spend there. However, it does look like the people of Kolbenhof, bandit or no, they're not looking for trouble. They don't want to fight if they don't have to, and they don't. And you're good as well. There's no disturbance in the night either. So your mission with obviously the pilgrims doing their bit, they come over there, they show people, they give people stuff, talk to them, advise them, etc. We move on to the third day. Now, spend your 7 things of supply.
I'll spend 3.
6 now, surely.
Oh, so the
Yeah,
meal,
me
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
How much do we have to take now?
Oh, we need one more.
I've got 3 left.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
just spend 1. Me and Theonin will spend 3. Done.
Yeah, because surely it's 6 total now because we lost a crewman. Yeah, cool.
Yep.
That's what.
There's got to be some benefit to being
Alexandra,
down a dude.
giving us something even in death.
Bread. At least we're not eating corpses yet. Yep. So we leave Kolbenhof behind. The guards bid you adieu, and you make the turn back towards Plainsworth. And the last stop of your pilgrimage, after the various thorps on the way, for the third day, is going to be Bockelben, which is a small trading post turned village in like the edge of the plains. Yeah, it's a fairly bustling place compared to these other two because it's where people come to trade stuff. A bunch of bunkhouse type arrangements. There's stalls for people to sell their goods. There's wagons. It's a sort of like frontier trading post type feel that Bockelben has. And you are not greeted by any kind of hostility here because it's a more cosmopolitan place as far as that goes. They get travelers all the time. That's all they get, basically. So there's no one really gives you a second look, other than the people who are like, oh shit, are they coming for me? No. Okay, good.
Yeah, by this point, we've sort of got it down pat. We've been round like 12 villages. We know
Yeah.
how to handle ourselves.
Yep. The Kingfisher Knight on the lookout for infiltrators. And Kingfisher, give me a dice roll for that.
Okay, let's have a look at my skills. I'm not sure what would be applicable for that.
Research is always a sort of halfway okay thing.
You might want to get someone else to roll for this thing, guys, because unless it comes to beating people, I'm not your man.
It depends on how you want to do it as well. Like if you want to go to a tavern and talk to people, you could sway or consort maybe. Consort probably better in that case.
See my initial
Is this
statement.
risky?
Risky, yeah. Yep.
Ugh.
Oof. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we will fast forward to like the business is concluded. We got to Bucklepen in good time. The pilgrims have done their work with the leading of Morana, and yeah, everything's okay. You sit down for the evening. You're about to start with the cookout, as always, and you've been on the lookout for, as Kingfisher Knight put it, like undead infiltrators. Now, that is a relatively hard thing to do because it's kind of an obvious thing, or a thing you can't tell. So it's either it's going to be The Walking Dead, or it's going to be someone that you can't really tell is being affected by corruption somehow. So like hidden bites, that sort of thing. Curses, obviously not perceptible to the eye. So you've concluded that there's a little that we can discern here as far as that goes. So seems okay. We've done our business. We're going to have our cookout. We're going to move out first thing in the morning. And in the evening, I think Theonin and Kingfisher, you're off to the side. Cole is cooking, or starting the cookout rather, like getting the fire going and whatnot. And the Kingfisher and Theonin, you're on the side, like talking about the arrangements of the mission. Kingfisher, you're trying to put the watch to do the best they can, and probably smoking some pipes, chewing some dried rations before Cole gets the actual thing going. And you've seen a couple of people around town like pass by your little camp, and you've made note like it's again that guy again. Like what's up with him? Is he like scoping us out or something? And eventually you will have picked out at least a dozen, maybe 2 dozen people. There's a lot of people in Bucklepen, but you've picked out over a dozen people who you've seen pass by your camp several times this evening with no discernible reason that you can tell. And is there an infiltrator in your house?
No, I think it might be fireworks outside. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So up comes this woman, probably in her 30s, and she comes by with a basket of food, just fruits, a bit of bread, some cheese maybe. She comes up and she bows her head a little bit and offers the thing and says, I would like to express my gratitude to the Legion for protecting us in this difficult time.
thank her and take the basket from her. No
Mhm.
reason not to. Pass it along to the junior quartermaster there.
So Cole, you get some more
Uh,
ingredients. You're muted, Matthew.
He said, "Sweet."
Ah.
Sweet. That's pretty much exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Good. So yeah, you get this basket of goods, and you get a nice cookout going. Do you have resources
This
to spend for the?
woman,
Yeah.
was she looking like she wanted to have a conversation with one of us, or
And not
she
necessarily. No.
literally,
Yeah, just come by, give you the gift basket, leave.
right? Okay.
So do you have? You can count down one supply from the gift basket. Do you have 5 to spend for feeding
I
everyone?
have no more.
I've got 3 left.
Okay,
supplies.
so we have
That's
3.
4.
Yeah.
So it'll be a
So who's?
slightly thinner broth tonight.
Yeah. It's gonna be less with the chicken bones and more with the water. Yeah. So it's like rations for tonight. However, some of those rations really tasty. You get some cheese to go with. It's nice. Um,
Do I have any of my bread left over? Like from the. Just sort of
I
The
mean,
spray
special bread, no, we had to share that with the
Lambert bread.
gangsters.
yeah,
That was what they were after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fresh food stuff, all of
yeah.
And to be honest, I'm surprised they took just half the bread. I thought I was going to have to sweeten that deal
Mhm.
with quite a lot of other things.
Yeah, no, they're not doing so well in there as well. It's just anything they can get, and they're not like super murderers. So there's that. So when the night descends on Bakulben, and you have your cookout, you have your watch rotation, and the night goes without incident. Bakulben is kind of active throughout most of the night, especially now that the pilgrims are here, because they're they're kicking up the activity by their mere presence, because they're doing stuff all night. And the pilgrims, to their credit, you've seen them like not sleep or rest a lot during this thing. They're burning the candle with a flamethrower is what they're doing. They're putting everything they can on the line while they are in these villages. So maybe they have some roots that they chew that like might keep them up a little bit longer, but they're just working with extreme tiredness throughout the day, throughout the night, traveling as basically zombies, just like one foot in front of the other, just get to the next village, do the thing, repeat. uh, they are extremely committed. You already knew this. They do this because of their convictions, and they're extremely committed people. It's very much uh, commendable feature of these folks. And you're done with Buckleben, and come morning, you set your path back to Plainsworth, and you return to your Legion camp. Now, where is your Legion camp? Is it in Plainsworth? Is it outside the city somewhere? Where would the commander put the tent?
I imagine it'd be a short distance outside Plainsworth.
Yeah, presumably in the northern side, because south is where the bad things are.
Yeah, exactly. On the northern side, and also because north is the direction we're going to be heading in.
Yeah. Good. So you return triumphant, having protected the caravan, not caused a lot of trouble in Kolbenhof or Buckelben. Good times.
Fully joined in with the caravan to some degree in the whole sharing of the knightly skills and the
Yep.
doctor skills where possible.
Yep.
Hopefully they're on board.
Yeah, and they are. As
Marvelous.
you succeed in the mission. Yay! And the result is these people, these pilgrims led by Morana, the blacksmith, they will join the Legion. They are willing to depart with you on your mission, because they can obviously tell that you have your eye on a larger prize, as do they. So they're going to join up with the Legion. Now they're not oath sworn to the Legion, but they will follow you around and help you when they can. And of course, we know we're going to start the clock for you to pick up some peasant levies. This is going to be great. Some aldermany farmers
Yeah.
being trained by a dude on the back of a wagon.
So you need to put the labourers down on the quartermaster
Yeah.
sheet.
Yeah, you can tick a box or fill in a dot for one laborer's unit. And let me see the wrap up thing here. Mission phase. So back at camp. So we've done that. This is also a very interesting thing that they put in. You have these back at camp scenes, which we haven't put a lot of focus on. We could put more on them, but so far we haven't, and that's okay. You have a selection for different stages of morale, and you can only do each of them as many times as it says you can, and most of them are just like one-off things. And when you're finished with, let's say, the high morale stuff, you automatically move down to medium morale and then to low morale. So even if you do have a lot of morale, things will grind down and you will have sort of more attrition in the mental department as you go on. So I think with this,
So are we counting this as, sorry, because labourers is
Yeah.
just boxes? How many
Yeah.
boxes am I filling in?
one box.
Marvellous.
They aren't used, so that will remain with you forever. So,
Right, cool.
and they do their thing automatically as well.
Mm-hmm.
Another successful mission.
Yeah. So our back at camp scene is, as mentioned before, the last storms of summer, or the first storms of autumn are hitting. So massive storm bank crosses over from the west, starts pelting Plainsworth with rain. So the skies darken and the rumors and wild speculation spread, because we know that this is a thing that heralds the breaker, the storm breaker, the bringer of thunder, one of the broken, whose forces you face today. This is an ill omen, and there's wild speculation of what that means, because
I think it means it's time to move on.
yeah, and because the blighter is rather more traditional in that you can usually tell where the blighter is. That's not the case with the breaker. The breaker moves in mysterious ways and doesn't have the same sort of modus operandi as the blighter does. So the speculation, a lot of it also concerns, like, is the breaker here? Because this is where the thunder is right now. And what does that mean? And can we tell? There's a lot of unease in the camp as far as that goes, because the signs are all there. The breaker's focus is here in Plainsworth. As you come back as far as that goes, there is a lot of elation, because again, your camp is bolstered by now a dozen skilled craftspeople, a lot of new friends to be made, and there's a celebration at camp as far as that goes, marred only by the rain and the rumors going about that the breaker has laid a curse on Plainsworth. Okay, a mission summary then. Well, the wrap up thing. You have your XP to deal with as per your sheet. So look at your triggers and put down your advancements. Now, a thing we haven't really talked about, and I don't think anyone has put XP in it, but if you want more uses of your special thing, like with Kingfisher today, the anchor, your top skill dot thing is your special stuff. So for Theonin, that's Doctor. For Kingfisher, that's Anchor. If you want more of that, you need to put XP in the specialist clock at
Yeah.
the bottom of your skill bit, the light gray one. You need a six segment clock. You need to fill that in, and when you do, you can put down one more specialist bit.
I don't think I rolled any
Who's
desperate
the
actions
highest
this
threat
time.
opponent?
Highest threat that we faced was 2.
I'll say you're on about the specialist bit.
Yeah,
My anchor's listed in insight for me.
yep. That's it. It's there because you are a heavy, so it automatically puts your thing in there. However, when you fill in the specialist bit, the
Mission.
assumption is you can always advance your own thing.
Right. Okay.
But and I need to look into this, but you could also branch out. So
I mentioned
if you
my
fill
heavy.
in the specialist bit, and I will get back to you on this, but my assumption is you can put that somewhere else as well if you want.
Okay. Can I ask what was the highest
Yeah,
threat of opponent faced?
2.
So okay, lovely.
That would have been the transformed.
Have a look. He is no longer a rookie.
Let me revise that, and this is the thing that we didn't engage with that because there's the engagement will happen down the line, but we did meet a threat 3 thing as well, which we didn't know about at the time. So yeah, put down highest threat 3.
Oh, oh.
This is the thing with the breaker. You don't
Mm.
see the blade all the time. Yeah. So for
Right,
your
so
yep.
I've bought up the doctor's skill insight thingy with the XP,
Yeah.
filled up the little pie chart thingy.
Yeah.
That means
For
I can
insight.
take one extra dot, right?
For insight.
Yeah,
Yeah. So for that, you can take an extra dot of research, scout, or rig.
but
I
I
don't
can't
think.
buy doctor up to 3.
Yeah, the doctor bit goes in the special clock at
No,
the
no,
bottom.
there's a doctor skill there as
Yeah,
well.
I know. That's one of your specialist thing, and as far as I can tell, and I'll just look it up now because we were talking about it. You need to fill in a separate clock to advance your special bit, which I know is a little bit confusing because it puts your own thing into
Yeah,
the inside. But I'll see about that now. Uh, hmm, what do I search for? It? Legion advancement. So specialist clock.
'cause if not, I'll drop it into the specialist clock.
Yeah.
And you can buy it up next time.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Ooh.
So Matthew, are you done with your XP
I'm
expenditure?
He's been promoted to a soldier. He's made it. I'm just working out what
Ooh.
his new special ability
Oh,
is.
right, right.
That's good because that was the point of sending him on the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
next mission, we begin again with another rookie.
Yeah, we bring him.
And we continue until the Legion is rebuilt.
The thing is, the special abilities for the rookies and for the soldiers are really good. They're
Yeah,
all really
yeah, they are.
useful. I'm just trying to think what this guy. So you originally made this guy, Collet, John. Would you prefer him to have extra loadout capabilities, or would you prefer to be able to use his special grit ability to ignore the consequences of fear and paralysis and corruption and fatigue using his grit? Iron Will. I think Iron Will or Loaded for Bear, like the two that seems to fit this guy. But I just since John made this one up.
I would say, given how you played him as like the sort of cookout guy, I'd suggest going for the loadout one.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I like the fact that as you level, if you manage to keep them alive, they actually they grow up to be stronger than straight out specialists. That's pretty good. Right, he's done.
Okay, yeah. So if you fill in your insight clock, you can advance your own special thing. So you can advance your doctor by filling in the insight. If you want to get something else going, you can fill in the specialist clock.
Oh, sweet. In which case, instead of filling up my clock and taking
hang on,
skirmish
sorry,
shots, I
John,
don't
just
care.
before you jump in.
Yep.
Can I buy the doctor skill up to 3? Is there?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I think
grand.
so. Yeah. Yep.
Right. Next thing before John jumps in again,
Mhm.
I have this skill called field dressing.
Yeah.
At the end of the mission, I expend remaining doctor uses, which was 2 but now is 3, to add 1 check to a Legionnaire's level 2 or 3 harm. Now, I'm sure we've got a couple of people that are injured.
Yeah, that you could literally take the officer and remove their level 2 harm, their broken leg.
Do they have to be on the mission with you, or just?
No, it's like the wording
This is
was
like
anyone.
camp actions once we've got back.
Yeah. So let's see, where are we?
I think Indigo has one. The officer has one. I think Rain has one.
See, nobody took a level 1 harm during the missions, so the like insta heal stuff that I've got wouldn't have been helpful. Because that only works on level 1 harm.
That's true.
But that works on like quite a severe injury.
So
Fisher was everywhere that mission, taking everyone's wounds.
the officer had. Where is that? Because there was a. Did I set up a clock? I think I did. Can't see it anymore.
For the wounds, it's just the ticks. He has to get so many ticks, doesn't he?
Yeah, but where is the ticks? Is the thing that I'm
on the
looking
sheet,
for.
it's actually on the harm thing. There's like a little box to put the tick.
So for it's.
I think so.
So on whose sheet is this?
The officers. Should
On
be like
his sheet, yeah.
It should be like a thingy thing to tick it off.
Why can't I see it?
It's on the harm thing, like on the.
Yeah, it's the little boxes next to the harm.
Yeah. That's what I thought they were, to tick off as you heal them up, because you have to get so many ticks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. So we had a thing, yeah, because I set up a clock because we were doing downtime healing, which is a. Let me revise that. What does that mean? Rest and recuperation. Is it that? Yeah. Each Legionnaire marks a tick in any harm. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, that's good. So
we did that, I think, on the very first
yeah.
session.
So yeah, you had 2 users of doctor, right? So you can heal the officer's broken leg.
Grand, let's do it.
Yeah. Whoop. I removed it, so the officer is good to go.
I should point.
Anytime this character gets used, make sure you remember to do that at the end, guys.
I just see a point for point of order. I believe I sent the officer on the mission.
Yeah.
The second
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
He may pick up additional injuries. So will that happen? In what order will that happen?
It doesn't. We'll deal with that when we come to it.
Cool.
We will bury that body when we get it.
Okay, no problem.
Which I think, unless anyone else has these things that trigger when you're coming back, then Marshall, let's get the show on the road with the siege of the old Tantari wall at the south border of Plainsworth.
Can I push myself?
No.
I think I've got a 2 dice.
Yeah, it's probably going to be 2 dice.
It's just 2 dice. Is it?
I'm checking it. So everyone's outsworn to the Legion.
As far as I know.
You've got one in, I can't remember whether it was it religious supplies or black shot? No, it
Supplies.
was general
Supply.
supplies,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have 2 dice to roll.
Okay. Come on, Draco, don't let me down.
Oh,
Oh,
oh boy. Oh boy. That was a bummer. Oh dear. So for the purposes of anyone listening, that was a double 3, which means both of them were failures. So our result is an utter failure of the Screaming Citadel. So what that means in the fiction is you are going to be carrying back a bunch of bodies. Your specialists are going to be wounded, and what happens in the fiction of the game is, Plainsworth isn't being invaded as yet, but the Blighter's forces destroyed the old Tantari wall, so there's no wall anymore to keep them at bay.
Really sounds like it's time to move on then.
Uh,
I tell you what would have been handy for moving on, +3 supply.
Yep, that would have been great.
oh yes, we don't get any of that.
Yeah,
Oh,
as
no.
opposed to -1 supply.
And
We're
-1
already on
morale.
0. We
Yeah.
are fucked.
Yeah, this isn't good. So you failed a mission. Marshall, pick 3 squad members to die. So you just mark
my
those people
God.
off. This was a
great.
bad turn.
Oh dear. Okay. Goodbye, Gallet Robin. Oh God, no. Teal Mending Glade.
It's harsh, man, having to come up with all the
Yeah.
names for them and then check
Yeah.
them off.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's dark.
hmm
The
You need to
third
think I'm naming all my labourers.
one. Oh,
they're
You are
immune. So
They're going to get names. It's going to be things like Baker, Wheeler, Smith.
Red Shirt 27.
also,
Oh,
who did you send on the mission? Gray Standing Cliff and the officer?
Maybe.
Yeah, Gray Standing Cliff and the officer both take level 3 harm, which I'm going to say is alchemical burns, because those people got some stuff thrown at them.
So let me get. So the officer for the first time is healed.
Yeah, the broken leg is fine. However, unless, and this is the thing we can, because there's no. Well, yeah, there is a structure actually, because you guys were the primary mission. You get back, then we roll for the second one. So the broken leg is fine. However,
Yeah.
level 3 alchemical burns on
Yikes.
the officer
Okay.
and Gray Standing Cliff, because they got hit with a really nasty globe lobbed by probably one of the horrors that the Blighter was sending at the wall, and that thing was more or less like alchemical napalm and an acid. So
3 dead. Okay.
and yeah, probably the 3. There's not even bodies. Like you just bring back like 3 helmets, because those bodies were dissolved in the acid and the alchemical fire. So
Oh my God.
yeah, I think the portion of the wall where the Legion was at the time got hit by one of these big alchemical destruction globes,
Okay.
and it was just a bright green flash, and they were gone.
I'm guessing they can't use their abilities to avoid these
Yeah.
damage.
No.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay. But they still get 2 XP.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Still good. Still good.
Okay. Right. Yikes. Well,
Yeah.
they're going to be out of action for a while. God. They
Yeah.
literally can't. I can't use them at the moment.
Yep.
Need help.
I would suggest that when we have downtime actions, we do some healing.
We only get one downtime action. Which
We,
we'll
we
get to
can
that in a
spend
second.
stuff for extra
Yeah.
downtime actions.
So
We don't have any supply left to do so. I don't
Oh,
think.
that's the point.
yeah, we're getting squeezed at the minute. So let me refer to the rest of my
Okay, so
shifts
Graceland
here.
Incliff, you hold on, brother.
Where is it? Structure. Okay, secondary mission. Yeah, we certainly did resolve that one. We're gonna gain mission penalties, so the penalty would be -1 morale now, and -1 supply, and we
Which
don't
takes
have any.
us.
Yeah, which we
Yeah,
don't have.
Can we go to -1
Yeah,
supply?
yeah, I'm looking that up right now.
Okay.
There's been 4 deaths this.
Yeah,
this
which is what we'll
session.
get to next.
Oh, and we seem to be doing so well at the end of last time when we
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
didn't fail all
Sorry,
3
guys.
missions.
It's my engagement roll just fucked
It's
us. bad.
sound.
I can't
You
say
did manage to roll 2 crits today as well. Don't worry about
I
it.
can't say anything given that on my first roll to like move us between places, I was like, boom, entire clock filled.
yeah, that was a disastrous roll. Yeah, and now we had another one, but not quite on the same level. Yeah, the first advancement move was a big one.
You receive.
Okay. Just supply.
We did, however, get some laborers.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
We did. We have done something.
I don't think I can quickly find any word on that, so we don't have any supplies to lose, so we won't lose any. And then we lose 4 morale for the dead.
Okay.
Yeah. So Marshall, how are we doing for morale?
We are in a bad situation.
If you were to take a sort of abstract numerical guess, what would you describe the
We're
morale
on
as?
3, which means we get no campaign action.
3.
There's 1 for the mission failure, and then
Yep.
we lose another 4 for the
Yeah,
the
the
deaths.
dead.
For a total
Yep.
of 5 lost.
Yeah. So
Start
that is
running
bad.
it.
We're at low morale. The Legion is really feeling the stress of war, I guess, because they would just witness the absolute annihilation of the Tantari wall, which was, it stood there for centuries. It was sort of a monument to, like, some things stand. No, not against the Blighter, they don't. The horrors tore the thing apart. These giant flesh monstrosities came up. They basically probably other siege equipment as well, but like there were siege hooks being put on the main gate and just like torn down, rotters swarming in. No one can stop them, and they tore the thing apart. So the Legion is feeling hurt a lot, and to not keep this too dark, Commander, time advances. So add 1 time and 1 pressure.
John, what are we gonna do?
And then we have campaign actions, which we don't. Is that correct, Quartermaster?
Yes, we have none at 3.
Yeah. So we don't
we
have
need
morale.
1 more morale to get a campaign action somehow, some way.
Yeah, which we don't at the moment. So, and we don't have supplies to do that either. However, we do have our laborers, so we will do something. Let's see. So I'm on the quartermaster sheet, so I'm adding in a clock for training aldermoney farm hands as a clock, and it's going to be more difficult than the other one because they're not soldiers at all. So we start that. I'm going to put in 1 tick on it for your success in the mission, and then what sort of long-term project do you want the laborers to work on? And this could be almost anything that we can think of.
coffins for us.
Well, I'm seeing supply carts and siege weapons on my list.
Yeah, those
We
are.
haven't got enough food to make supply carts worth having.
I would like to suggest at some point in the future boats, because I'm going to suggest that we head east to Sunstrider Camp and then south to West Lake, which is a cosmopolitan area where we can get more supplies. And then the most direct way is to go across the lake to East Lake, but to do that we will need boats.
Yep. But that's a boat that we can build as we go. So yeah, and in addition, Hannah, to whatever is on the sheet, you can also come up with any other thing. So if you wanted to have a plan, like a mad plan for something, you can have these people work on it, and
Right.
we can
So
have.
for now, I'm thinking we'd need some sort of a cart to move a boat on anyway, right?
Yep. Okay, so they're
'Cause
building
there's no
carts.
point trying to build a boat in the middle of the land.
Mhm.
Rather, let's have a cart and start loading wood onto it to build the boat with when we get to the shore, yeah?
Yep. So I'm putting down build supply cart, and I'm gonna figure
Yeah.
out what clock that is. Quartermaster. Library siege weapons.
It's a dark day for the Legion. Dark day.
Hmm. I think we're just gonna go with a 4. So they've started
Yeah.
building a supply cart.
Marvelous.
Yeah. So I've set the
like-
2 clocks. Yep.
I was going to say, I like to think those men who like died on the wars in Plainsworth were like, if only Barbosa wrote.
Yep.
I would also like some sort of like better mobile defenses and some siege weapons and shit.
Yep.
But for now, we're just looking at getting shit together to build it and moving the fuck out.
Yep.
And if there's any berries while you're cutting trees, get them in.
Yeah. Like we're on to like scavenging now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so we've dealt with the campaign actions, and now, Commander, does the Legion advance from Plainsworth?
We move east to Sunstrider Camp. That is all.
All right. So I'll.
You have to make. Oh, he has to make a roll, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And this is
John,
this we
John,
have
Don't do it.
we have horses,
Do
so
have horses.
it's good. It's better anyway. Let me read you, John, about this thing. So your choices, and I know that you already said Sunstrider Camp, but I'm going to read the bit for advancement, which each location has, so that you can make at least a halfway informed decision. Now, this is only the bare bones information. If you had more intel or did stuff like projects to figure some more,
Or if I had any intel.
if you had anything else, you could maybe have more information, but this is what you have.
It's a
So
trap.
you can advance to Sunstrider Camp or take the long road to go north into the mountains. The path east to the Sunstrider Camp gives the Legion multiple route options and better supplies. The only reasons to risk the longer and supply-deprived northern route is the slim hope of shaking the broken in the mountains and supplying the Legion with powerful artifacts and blessings that the annals say are found in the temples there. So the northern route is about maybe you can get ahead, maybe you can lose your pursuance, and maybe you can find some rather more supernatural aid and relics in there.
No, unfortunately, that's not going to help us if we starve to death on the long road.
Yeah.
Sunstrider Camp
Yep.
it is.
Yeah, the long road eats 2 food per thing. So the long road would be A
We
road of
don't even
bones, I
have
think.
2 food. We've
Yeah.
got 1 food, I think,
Yeah.
which is just enough for
Yeah, so it's
getting us. Oh no,
it's
we've
going to
got
be
2 food.
it's going to be going to Sunstrider camp and then focusing on supply missions when we get there.
Yeah. So, Sunstrider camp. John, how high is the pressure?
2.
2. Let me refer to what the horses can do, because the quartermaster can now spend horses to reduce pressure, and I'm just checking if we can reduce pressure to 0, because that would be amazeballs.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a Riders of Rohan now.
We ride for the Sunstrider camp.
Mm-hmm.
Beat me to it. Yeah, this game's hard.
Yeah,
I've done the
Yes,
I've done the
yes.
1 use of food stores. We've got 1 more
I
use
tell
left.
you what.
We need food next mission.
Tell you what, if I fail this roll and not fill in another clock, I'm going to laugh so much.
I think
I'll
at most you're going to be.
I'll probably
Yeah.
still be laughing next game.
We didn't even make it halfway across the map.
Yeah,
We barely left the Western Front and
Yeah.
they were on us.
Yeah. So, in fact, the quartermaster now, there's 2 pressure. The quartermaster can spend 1 of your uses of horse, and you have 6 altogether. You can use 1 horse to reduce the pressure by 1, and you can reduce both of the pressure out to make it a 0. And that means we treat it as any other thing in the game that we roll with a 0. So we roll twice and we pick the worst option. So in your case, the better
Best
one.
I
So-
see no reason to not do that. Anybody
Yeah.
else?
Well, the plane's worth falling. We need to get out.
Yeah, let's nick them ponies out of the stables and shift.
Yeah. So spend 2 horses, and
Yeah.
then John, give me a fortune roll with 2 dice, which is going to be the. Oh, if you can roll with 0, do that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm scared.
Okay.
I'm scared.
So, yeah, that means it's the worst result, which is the 1, which means you add 1 to your time clock, John.
That's the best we could hope
Yeah.
for, right?
That's not too bad. We've only got like 1 clock filled and another a third filled.
Could be worse.
Guys? Guys?
Yeah, but you do have horses to last you for quite a few advancements
Yeah.
still, so that is great. The Plainsworth horse trading was awesome.
I'm
We need the
definitely
positive
thinking
volume.
my plan now is that hopefully we can pick up some supplies in like the Sunstrider camp and then just like try and put as much distance between us and the Western Front as we can, as quickly as we can.
Yep.
While trying to mend these broken men. We're
So-
standing cliffs out of action for a while, as is the officer. The officer literally just was like, yeah, I'm ready, guys. I'm ready for the next mission. Put me out. Take me off the bench. Send me out.
Yeah. So, let me talk to you as the Legion departs Plainsworth. We head on
Look at
around.
Look on the
Yep.
bright side, guys. We've only got sort of like at best like 6 more places to go to before we get to Skydagger Keep.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
rolling to gain time after each.
So we go across the plains around the Blackwood Forest, and we arrive at Sunstrider Camp. The Legion, beat down by their experience at Plainsworth. We arrive, and I'm going to read this thing out. Once a bustling trade post for plainsfolk, pilgrims traveling west, and those heading north, Sunstrider Camp now is choked with refugees from the surrounding areas. The permanent structures here provided a winter camp for the biggest of the horse clans of the plains. The horse lady Daga and her riders have taken charge. They fortified the winter camp further and opened their doors to the refugees, providing food and shelter for those unable to fight but demanding those that can join the frequent mounted raids on the undead. Many plainsfolk ride into battle in on a unique type of local horse known for their speed, hardiness, and unruliness, a wild steed. Tales claim the horse's origin is divine, offspring of the Horned One, or a chosen blessing their steed when dying. In Aldermark, they're called Furamin, the Fire Mains. While undead top the list of the many problems the camp has, there is also a contingent of mountain bandits using the chaos of war to enrich themselves. Taga has been unable to mount a serious offensive against them while the undead threat looms so heavily. There are mountain shrines to the southwest. The people in this area cling to their faith. For some, it's all they have left. Many plan to make the pilgrimage to seek shelter and protection of the gods there. The plains east of the camp are full of small enclaves of travelers, and there is no end to news from all over Aldermark here at camp, almost all of it bad. Rumors abound of the Cinder King crossing the Tempest Sea to the south. So there's rumors that the Cinder King has arrived directly to the south of East Lake and West Lake, which we can see on the map. There's a sort of ruined town there. So the Sunstrider camp is a sort of winter camp now being protected by a local Aldermani horse clan led by the Lady Chaga, who is basically waging a war, like an active offensive war against the undead in the plains while being harried by the mountain bandits. And you arrive, as so many other refugees do, to this place. And you set up your tents. And then that is probably it. We have some more wrap up to talk about, but that is it for the session for today.
Excellent. I shall stop the recording. Thank you very much for running it.
Yeah, thanks for playing.
Yeah, cheers for